finally, we are done. We are done. I'm so proud of myself. I went through 6 of the canopy walks and I didn't do so bad. Of course, it was a bit shaky and a bit scary, but I wasn't as scared as I thought I would be. So that's it from the canopy walk. Our next stop is here. We have our beautiful ponies behind us, and obviously we are going horse riding. We'll be talking about the whole activity whilst we do that. I'm going to try, to be brave, because this is a moving mammal. I'm not used to it. I hope I don't fall off, but let's do this together. Oh, thank goodness. So I'm going to do this. Wish me luck. I can just sit on it, right? I am holding this horse with the last bit of strength in me. But let's have the conversation. Mr. Sari.
Yeah.
These horses, how many of them do you have?
At the moment, we have 3.
3.
You are on Baby, I'm on Kukua.
Hey.
We have Okatachi.
Okatachi, that's a male, I suppose.
Yeah, that's
so
a male.
So these 2 are females?
Female, yeah.
Oh, okay. And who named them? What accounted for their names?
Oh, since they are female and then there's a male, we decided to give them some local names.
Yeah, but
that
I mean,
them.
The names, it could be Ama, it could be anything. Why did you choose Baby and Okatachi? And
yeah, it was cute. We intended naming it, yeah. It was, so we said, yeah, Baby.
Oh, okay.
We wanted to name Equia, but we say, okay, let's use the fancy style.
Oh, okay. I'm sitting on Baby, right? And did they come in when they were little ponies, or you bought them when they were grown?
Yeah, we bought them when they were old.
Oh, okay. And where did you get them from?
From Ghana here.
I see.
From northern part of Ghana.
Okay. How do you feed these horses? How do you maintain them?
Yeah, they eat this normal grass. Every grass you see around, they eat.
Oh, okay. Then they are sorted, because there's a lot of grass around.
There's a lot of grass, but we still do the normal feed.
Oh.
Yeah, the wheat brown.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so if you are going to take someone through horse riding, this one is slow because obviously I'm scared. So how do you ride the horse? Like, you pull the girdle a bit?
Yeah.
You pull it a bit?
Yes.
And then the horse moves. So at which point do you know you're hurting it?
You won't hurt it. The way they are being positioned, there's no way or there's no point they will get hurt.
Oh, okay.
Yes. They are being arranged in a way that when you pull it this way, it will be going this way. This way, it will be going this way. Oh, so if I want to turn around, I need to just do this.
Turn. Oh, okay. Okay. And is it possible to get the horse?
Yeah, when I want to stop it, I need to pull 2 at once.
Okay.
It means break.
Is it possible to get the horse angry? Like, is it possible that unintentionally you do something that will make the horse? What will make this horse angry?
For example, when they are unaware and then you pull something like a stick or a stone, that one makes them a little bit frightened. So they can throwing their legs back or jumping or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the things tourists are supposed to do and not to do if they come for horse riding?
Yeah, they are supposed to follow the instructions of the guide from the one who is in charge of the horse. Yes, follow every instruction because they are well trained and then they are trained to help people.
I'm getting off now. Baby, was fun, and that was me doing some horse riding here. How much is it typically when anyone wants to ride a horse?
As an adult is 10 cedis and then kids are 5 cedis.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's great. So we are done with another activity. This was new to me, obviously, horse riding, but with the help of Mr. Sari, I was able to do it. We are going to do our very last activity, which is the zip line. This is it for me because I'm high up in the sky and it's just me and my God. But I'm going to try it because we said we were going to have fun and an adventure, right? So let's do. I have my helmet too. This is supposed to help me in case I fall off. So Richard is going to help me get onto the zip line, and then Mr. Asari will be waiting for me at the other end to catch me when I get close. Woo! Am I sure I want to do this?
You can do it.
Should I do this? Woo! So I'm going to hold with both hands.
Are you just coming? Okay, hold this. Hold this.
With both hands.
Yeah. Now drop down.
Wait. No, wait.
Drop down.
Here.
Yeah.
I should hold this
Yeah.
with both
Hold
hands.
this.
With
Hold
both
this.
hands.
Yeah.
With my two hands.
Yes.
So I'm going to do this.
This is one. Two.
Wish me more.
Good. You've done very well. Come to. Stand this way. Good. How was it? Thrilling. How was it?
It was scary, but it was fun.
Okay.
But I can't do it again. I have to psych myself
Wow.
over and over again. But you should try it. It's a lot of fun. You just need a lot of vim.
So that's the harness.
Okay.
So it's very simple. You just hang the harness on it and then you come.
Okay, but how sure are you that it would never come off? Because
it's called safety harness. It will never break.
it would
down.
never come off.
Yes.
So you've never had any such instance?
No.
Oh, I see. I see. I'm sure you have a lot of screaming from the canopy walk to to the zip line. So guys, that's it. That's the zip line experience. It was fun, but it was scary, trust me. And I think I enjoyed myself. You should come here to have a bit of an experience of the place. It's a really packed place. It's full of fun, and Mr. Sari here and his team have been really helpful. They are in charge of the place and they are doing a really good job at keeping and helping tourists with the place. So thank you for making time with us. I promised you fun and I'm sure you had a lot of that. Thank you, Mr. Sari, for hosting us.
Welcome.
You were really great and I had a lot of fun doing this with you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So we'll see you next time. Make time with us on the next episode of People and Places, and I'm sure you would enjoy yourself as much as you did this time.
And innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite mobile money?
tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
Hello, my name is Priscilla Na Akle Planch. I'm a survivor of a road accident. It wasn't easy for me. I went through 6 surgeries, and for 2 years I was using crutches. It wasn't an easy experience, and I don't want you to go through the same. So please, follow all the road safety regulations that you have to. Don't drive tired, don't drink and drive. And to my fellow friends who ride motorcycles, please, the road signals are for you as well. Please pay attention to them. Stay safe, do the right thing, and save a life.
Asante Kotoko and Accra House of Folk leads the Ghana Premier League table after match day 25. But 2 of their players have stood out so far in the season. Fabio Gama and Ibrahim Salifu are regarded as one of the top talents in the ongoing season. But who is the best among these 2 players? We are on the streets of Medina to interact with football fans on this very topic. Is Gama better than Ibrahim Salifu? Let me know what you think in the comment section. My name is Joel Lesen, and we go on the street to get some answers. Alright, so I have my first guest here on the show. It is Friday's debate here on GhanaWeb TV between Ibrahim Salifu of Accra House of Folk and Fabio Gama dos Santos. Who is the better midfielder and who has been the best in the ongoing Ghana Premier League after match day 25? Don't forget, Asante Kotoko leads the table with 45 points, followed by Accra House of Folk on 43 points. Thanks for joining me here on GhanaWeb TV. Your name?
My name is Henry Bafo.
Henry Bafo.
Yeah.
I have another gentleman here. Your name?
I'll go for PRS.
Okay. So between Fabio Gama and Ibrahim Salifu, briefly, who is the best?
I think Fabio Gama is the best, and I'm also a Kotoko fan.
You are a Kotoko fan?
Yeah.
All right, so let me proceed to the other gentleman here. He is going for Fabio Gama. Who do you think is the better among these 2 players?
Ibrahim Salifu.
Ibrahim Salifu.
Yes.
Why do you think that Salifu is better?
I like Salifu because he's a hard player. He play like Messi.
Okay.
And normally how he sacrifice himself for the football.
Okay.
So normally how he even perform with this is not easy. So you can't compare a foreigner to a Ghanaian.
You can't compare.
You can't.
Okay, but have you watched Fabio Gama too?
Fabio Gama, I watch him, but like it's just like I'm not his fan, so I didn't focus on him.
Okay, so is it that you are going for Salifu because you support House of Folk, or generally you think that?
Exactly, I'm going for Ibrahim Salifu, and I support House of Folk too.
Okay, I'll get back to you shortly. All right, so you've heard from his argument between Salifu. Initially, you said that Gama is better than him. Why do you think that?
I think he's the best, and then first of all, we all know that when we talk of Brazilian players, they are good. I mean, come talk of Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and then we talk about Pele. They are Brazilian players, and you can't compare. I mean, he's the best. Look at the way he dribbles, and then he's good. He's a good team player, so he's the best. I mean, come think of it. And then we are also, first on the Premier League table, so you can't compare first. Fabio Gama is the best, okay, my guy.
My last question.
All right.
Salifu has won 7 Man of the Match awards.
Okay.
And Fabio Gama is here to has won roughly 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Why do you still insist that Gama is better? Is it because he's a Brazilian and the other is a Ghanaian?
You know, at times it's kind of like life comes with so many opportunities, and then the kind of team players that you have. If you look at Ibrahim Salifu, the kind of team players that he has, and then like the players that he has, if Fabio Gama should get the same squad, he's going to get more awards, more than what Ibrahim Salifu has gotten now.
So you are saying that House of Folk has better players than Asante Kotoko?
No, I'm trying to say that Ibrahim Salifu is likely to have good team squad as compared to the team that Fabio Gama has. if he should get the same squad or team players at his side, he's going to get more awards than Ibrahim Salifu. So I'm just trying to say that looking at the team players that Fabio Gama is having, they are not all that kind of like trying to help him go far. Do you get it? Yeah.
All right, so let me take your last word to anybody who also supports Ibrahim Salifu. Why should people support Salifu to probably be the best player in the league at the expense of Fabio Gama dos Santos?
Okay, you see, Ibrahim Salifu, I like him because normally, you see, Ghana here, majority of supporters, they normally support player but not team. Because like a player, if the player performs from one place to another, they like it. They like it than the team. Because like now, I was a Kotoko fan. But because of Ibrahim Salifu, I just moved from Kotoko to House of Folk. Because he's a highly performant man.
All right, so that's interesting. You have a Kotoko fan here who now supports the Rainbow Club because of Ibrahim Salifu. We are on the street of Medina to interact with football fans on this topic. Let me also hear from you, but we will go on and speak to other football fans. Club that they support between Gama and Ibrahim Salifu, they normally call him Di Maria, who is the better player and who has been the best in the ongoing Ghana Premier League. Boss, welcome to GhanaWeb TV.
Oh, thank you.
Between Ibrahim Salifu and Fabio Gama, when any ball briefly?
Oh, boss, Fabio Gama is better than Ibrahim Salifu.
Fabio Gama is better than Ibrahim Salifu. Yeah. Okay, let me speak to. I know you are a Kotoko fan, but between these two guys, you know, when any ball?
Oh, you're banning ball. Say a boy and for born to for man. You come out Fabio Gama.
You come out Fabio Gama.
Yes.
I didn't know you come out Fabio Gama.
Because the style of playing and the way also touch ball, the possessing and different. Ultimus one way different. Ball na because on ball now. So you ball me want to the style of play different. The passes go through. And at the way also dribble and easy. Okay. You can't ball there.
Okay. But what Ibrahim Salifu kakra.
Machine ball kakra.
It's what share on stove. And yet say support Kotoko.
Oh,
would you say on Gama?
Me and yet say be Obeka say be me Kotoko fan in America be ma Fabio Gama be ntesa. But say o me compare omu na a difference room. Okay. Difference room.
Okay. My about my mimisa say Fabio Ibrahim Salifu. Waje man of the match awards no. Waje 7. On any Ghana Premier League player, waje do pa. Still, I didn't know how say Fabio Gama any mbocha and now ofi Brazil.
Oh, boss, yes sir. Salifu ma onimbobo. Salifu meka onimbobo. By Gama no jeboa. The touches bi ne pass bia like what the man. Ghana Premier League ne abo new player bi kura pass bo Gama be man. O he Kotoko ni Liberty a. Assist bi o yema kwampo kusheye no. Sa ball na Gama and pass no maye no. Salifu no way good. Onimbobo bet Gama ne touches ne passes were fantastic.
But what's actually Hassan Kimfesa Ibrahim Salifu the pass no the mama has the share first goal.
Oh, the goal no na kama. Ne na assist na kama. Bet Gama ne touches ne passes. Ano na America Salifu no all the way good. Onimbobo me help matches has match. Onimbobo ba Gama no the was be jebo ma pass e twen. O jina Kotoko tuni ma utimu say like eniema koyi ankasa.
Iti enchebia has ne Kotoko e ba bebo I think ending on next month Kotoko mo betumi handle Ibrahim Salifu.
Oh, ebetumi handle. Ebetumi Kotoko men no. Ebetumi.
Mami yo say has for here then I will catch omo e Fabio Gama.
Me catch omo say omo ya hwe o boy no SMS no ukita boy no nem nti omo nya so omo ya training a ana so omo ye omo coach ni mo tactics omo be check Kotoko for the omo focus on Fabio Gama and yes how pan dia boy no obetuma bo hat-trick.
All right, so we've been speaking to these two guys. They are fans of Asante Kotoko, and to them, there is no way that you can say that Ibrahim Salifu, they normally call Di Maria, is better than Fabio Gama dos Santos, and they are sending a warning to Accra House of Folk ahead of the super clash in the Ghana Premier League. What do you also think? Is Gama better than Salifu? Remember, Salifu has won 7 Man of the Match award. You're still watching GhanaWeb TV, and we are on the streets of Medina to interact with football fans on this very topic. So I have my last guest here on the show. You're still watching the GhanaWeb Fridays debate here on GhanaWeb TV. Is Fabio Gama better than Ibrahim Salifu of Accra House of Folk? Yeah, I have a Kotoko fan here, and this gentleman also supports Accra House of Folk. Never say die until the bones are rotten. Let me start with you. Between Fabio Gama of Asante Kotoko and Ibrahim Salifu, they normally call Di Maria, who is the best? Why any nimbo power?
Di Maria and Fabio Gama. Oh, say Di Maria the no. Why old prayer or nimbo into the Kanka or so no. When you look up prayer into where you be on ball bossing. Look Fabio Gama.
Fabio Gama foreign player no.
Brazil player.
Into no more nimbo Ibrahim Salifu.
Oh, and I had Ibrahim Salifu baby. I had this in
okay, my member also Ose Fabio Gama is a better player than Ibrahim Salifu. And then I also work.
No, I don't think so. Maybe them work and say Ibrahim Yade pa.
Ibrahim Yade.
Yeah, so far so good. We share the ball, they will see every ball no. The team so Yade. Although a local player bet, I think say you can make it.
But why do you think that Ibrahim Salifu is better than Fabio Gama?
You know, a lot. You know, the way he gives passes, the way he dashes, you know, a lot. Seriously, I just like the player. I like him very, very much. And I think we're far better than him, that Di Maria, seriously.
Okay, let me also come to you. Or say Di Maria, any more chamber is far better than Fabio Gama. Why do you think that Gama is better than Di Maria?
Oh, you draw a new ball, but you say Fabio Gama or no, your check passes man. Would you have free? Would me train players to be a 4, no check passes, or a player or a dear. In 20 minutes, prayer being a total no. Emma say Fabio Gama on the ball, or I'm not going to talk or league, you know. Okay. And I'm not going to talk or league in 20 minutes fast. Other prayer being a total no. I'm a crown and my mother say, Uncle, you already sent a crown, Magana, send Morgana, Blaster Crank, I'm a crown. Because I didn't already send you, I can already send Magana.
Your players now what Black Star no. Fabio Gama kwa obetu hwan.
Oh, obeti me two friend say sir he pray away say a friend what the enfan say woni say e wo frɛ Baba Roman saman.
Son a defender.
So wo frɛ prayer away say you live prayer.
Free aqua na mbu aqua sa.
Oh, free aqua o ya de. Free aqua ya.
Oh, okay. Mama mi so Fabio Gama. Who say your friend of Black Stars?
That be not at all. One wait me to know no. Who say the fan who player wait me to know no. What I say? That be there's no way say wait me na Black Star ball. Any day make can Suzuki. Black Star players you know. You pro be free. Has am na there. Akwakobo. What I say because league in there, you say you bet you know once and for all. And no matter how say, I will say I couldn't mind in their bets. You bet me I push you forward. I'm a you players in the free house. At the couple of
before say you baby segment we in here. Has were 43 points or the second. Kotoko L 45 at the first. Has if you are there be House of Folk they have a chance to be on top of the league and sign a Kotoko Bebo Wafa on Saturday. What's your prediction ahead of your game with Techim and 11 Wonders on Friday?
On Friday, I think House of Folk will win 3-1.
Has been winning 3-1.
Exactly 3-1.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Okay. Also, would you say you have a margin 26 you know, na Kotoko? that's so
so yeah, that's so yeah, the first one. First in the better one man the league, you know.
Mobesha wafa.
The Besha wafa, the Besha 3-1. Besha 3-1. You know, heart of war. Enya Gideon say, "We no Besha Kotoko, no the league in the among function because you wafa. They are called 48 points because we the only decision you are taking in and say we points we taking in and to Besha Kotoko. You know match no. Some match no one crowd in here we to say Kotoko match no. Into no only so to Besha there. And then you won't drown baby Krana Kotoko league in every.
All right, so you've heard what these two gentlemen have to say about Fabio Gama dos Santos and Ibrahim Salifu. You can also join the conversation by writing your comments right after watching the video. They also predicted for their respective teams ahead of the match day 26 games. I am Joel Eshen, and you've been watching the Friday's debate here on GhanaWeb TV. We come on your screens again next week with the Champions League preview.
Powers and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the part and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
It's not my brother. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Transport fares are likely to be increased by the close of today. We are here to find out from drivers and passengers what they think about this decision and also the impact on their finances.
The government said the fuel has increased from where? From the app. So they are also going to adjust it. Okay. So it will affect the drivers too, and at the same time affect the passengers. So the government had to sit up with the drivers so that they will come into agreement, so that they will bring a acceptable price, which can, help us, we the citizens in the country, because things are very hard these days. We are managing it already. We don't have any option to manage it. We are managing it. So we are ready to pay, but it has to be reasonable. The government has to see to it that things don't go higher than what we are managing, because we are already suffering in the country.
End of the day, no. Nobody na abakwa fuel. Why we say no kura wunya. Say no fairness what to my because you to me bibia on 7. And say no so what to my because end of the day no ejuma be na the tough fuel. You are upon a chop money kura na ha. We say no kura ma. So una continue fuel. Nti high pa. Passengers in say aban na otum. Nti ba ma so wotua. Kwan bia no say wotua. Na yaso yen bia to fuel. Na yaso ye don akwa up and down.
Welfare na omutum ne metman ka say enye anka omutte fuel ni so a. Ena eja loro fe na yentum na kan mo mbeboaye. The confuse beba pa say loro fe na yase atum no. Amanfo no bre. Ska mo de furkan. Anodi fe oduan no kwa no mukasa. Ani yase atum bi. Ntika we say yusu oduan na mutte fuel ni so. Nanka agina ho a. But o manye nsa. See into lot of fame. Fuel no so o so. Nti I have big problem pa met my guys about 30 and drivers no 30 passengers so. Say lot of fare na ya tumu. Affect wo yeso fuel no. Scanning na ba edwuma na koto fuel. Nti ho na we say wo mo hwe mai kaka no mo teso na ba fom.
Enkanye nanso abane sa. De nti anye ne say ye hwe papa na ye maame no ma. Every time I'm starting edwuma aya ban edwuma no. Mentisi ya say to abanjuma for lolo fe ayi omo pay that for better 10 years ni menti bi da say omo tumsu na menti dia nanso de bia na ato lolo fe num ni ato patrol ni ato lolo fe num nju be hu say obi be osese ni lolo fe say the whole month we e so me use sika we a we need a short term na sesa na ma ahoche aba o man num timi de enye ma be say ke be to lolo fe num nanso aba nsa. And I yellow fan patrol can to my effective car, a to brake food, a to engine oil, a to brake band in a to Nina Fatino. Ties, says the ties I make a ton trend another thing and increase it. Be beer increase it. Within 1 month, baby, beer cost. I may say double for the counter for a much room. Serious party. I buy no share now when you be my woman's out about here. But you secret him or more than more necessarily near my agents. You run it, Asama motorway. The whole Greater Accra, Yankwani, Union, Yatati, you say a fat 33. Inside the 23, no, the fat 15 passengers, 17 passengers. Yanika on a phone in Akasama, or Matias. I must say a fan, sir. Though down for the Bocadier, a comedy over there, and I say no Mukasa, up to now, 3 trillion efa. Lola friends with the agenda that no one is good to you. Yankazi a fat 330. Yet increase lot of Debbie, study a general Saba Pepe. Coffee, no, may visit the echoes of my moon, Obiano, Onim, Obianim, Obiati. Nipano, and Sanzo Bay confusion and Nibutum. The other free fever banner, our physical Benabia Topia or Tanono, or Balas Sapan and Yabre Batunim, and so then Yabre. Oh, and then we me the confusion, but if you are a Lucia, now passengers neighbor to your bones of Bancasa Tramono Contoqua. If the woman is so many, then so be what to be out to me by officers. Oh, wait a minute, my short. Yes, oh, no problem. So when you have a tenure, because I let me, or because I need all fair, it me the channel. If the new nipper back up in the morning says, then so just as the air cosmo, Yamon Pina, Namintos of Pagugana, so as I said, the air cosmo empty.
The decision to increase the fares is a rather unfortunate one, according to the drivers and passengers, because it will have a great impact on their finances. So government needs to do something about it. Reporting for GhanaWeb TV, my name is Amos Eko Kofi.
Again, Charlie, if today is your first time on my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share with your friends. So at the moment, I'm about to sit on the boat together with D.
All the way from Kenya to Ghana. Please, guys, go show some love to my channel. Tell me.
Yeah. I mean, show some love to her. She's been with me for some time now, and we've made amazing videos, which you guys, I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, please, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Please take a minute, go check me out. D Mwango, this is my name here, and
yes,
also the link is down below. And also, if you're from Team D,
you know how we do it. Let
today.
me know if you're from her channel too. And so at the moment we are going to Paps Beach Camp, and so at the moment this is the water lake, and so it's going to take us about 10 minutes to the Paps Beach Camp. So guys, are you ready?
I hope you're ready. If you're not, get yourself ready.
See you guys. Let's go right into the video.
Let's enjoy the beautiful breeze.
I know, right?
You got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got to let it go.
It takes about 3 hours 30 minutes drive from Accra to Keita. Before getting to Paps Beach Camp, you pick a boat from a town called Ananui, which is properly called the harbour.
Asana for the road. Cheers, Asana. You're invited. Asana and milk.
The boat ride costs between 30 Ghana cedis to 50 Ghana cedis in and out.
This is amazing! The breeze is so beautiful. We're having a good time here, and we can't wait to see you at the other side.
So our boat is finally leaving us. He will be back in the next hour to come and pick us because we gave him an hour. I'm sure you all that have been on my YouTube channel for so long will remember this place. Remember that I've been here before, but I mean, being here the second time doesn't mean I can't vlog, doesn't mean I can't relive this moment. And so yeah, and so I've seen a few changes. Most of the huts have been renovated, and so let's see how the place looks like. And is this a place you like to see yourself enjoying a day or two? I'm here with Didi. Come around.
So guys, welcome to the beautiful Volta region.
Let's go.
In this beautiful place. I'm so in love with this place, the fact that it has the palm trees. It makes me have a mind of, you know, remember my country, Kenya, because they also have lots of these when it comes to the coastal region. So wow.
So yeah.
Here it's really different because they're in, you know, in rows.
Yeah.
Drawn in rows, and they look really beautiful.
So yeah, we are going to Paps Beach Camp, and you're coming with me. Do you guys remember this bathroom? Do you guys remember this dog? guys remember the owner of Paps? You guys, they remember you.
Yes, that's it.
I remember somebody says that. Why are you getting so close to the man like that? Like somebody said that. And guys, he told me something wonderful. I mean, my video went so far. People came here. He got a lot of patronizing.
Yeah, exactly. And then the video that the interview that you connected with me last time, you were here.
Yeah.
So after 2 weeks, I got one guy. He coming from America, Maryland. And he saw my interview with Stella Sherry. So he wanted to help me.
Oh wow!
So he came here. We talked.
Wow, you guys are amazing.
He came here with the 4-wheel drive. So he wanted to.
Wow.
Connect the pipe for
you
me.
have to bring me money.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Today he has to give me money.
So I was so happy. Really.
Oh, I'm glad.
Did a great job for me. So I really like that.
Oh, thank my subscribers. They make it happen.
Thank you so much for those who follow
Stella Shani.
Thank you so much. Keep on doing.
You can say it in a way. Hi. So let's see how the rooms looks like again. This is how it looks like. It has a double bed and very close to the sea. You can see the sea right ahead. It's blue. And this is a very spacious room. It has double bed. You've changed your bed sheets. They're looking nice. And of course, this is me. This is this is Stella Chanelli. Yeah. Heidi.
Hi guys. This place is beautiful.
You like it?
Yeah, definitely.
Should we spend one more night?
Hopefully. Definitely we should. This place is so beautiful, breathtaking. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Stella, for bringing me to this place. And if you're Team D, this video has been made possible by Stella. Subscribe. Let's get her to 30,000 subscribers. She deserves it. Look at the beautiful sea. Let's have a look.
So they have a volleyball court, and I mean a spacious space. So guys, those of you that have watched this video already, Paps Beach Camp, let me know in the comment section. Let me know my loyal subscribers. Let me know those who have been following me since. I mean, you're the real MVP, and I mean, because of you, you give me the zeal to keep creating. Their bathroom looks like, yeah, you shower here, and also this is the compost toilet. This is how it looks. And so when you finish doing your do, you just fetch a little of the compost into this. And funny enough, it doesn't even smell. Yeah, it's very very fine. This is the toilet. This is the regular toilet you all know. Well, it's also compost. I mean, There's also a compost toilet. So yeah. So guys, this brings us to the end of this video. It's time to go. Our time is up. Consider subscribing to D Mango's YouTube channel.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. D Mango is my YouTube channel. Amazing videos. And if you're from Team D, you know how we do it, man. Subscribe to Stella Shanili's YouTube channel. Tell her D Mango sent me here. If I told you love me, do that right now.
So yeah, let's go, guys. Until next time. Are you seeing the mangroves plant? That's how oysters feed on them, and that's how they're able to catch the oysters. So yeah, it's been amazing.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
Tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
A day in 2015, while on my way to work, I saw a police officer arrest a number of motor riders at the Legon bus stop, and so I decided to film and use for a story. I was subsequently arrested, sent to the Legon police station, detained and intimidated for some 6 hours before I was let go. Now today, Caleb Kuda, a colleague, remember, we all started from Radio Universe. He has been allegedly being tortured by some personnel of the national security for filming installation, but the journalist says he rather filmed some cars that had been left to rot at the premises. Captain Smart faces a month suspension for allegedly slandering President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and the IGP, but the journalist has denied any wrongdoing. Call it occupational hazard, but we ask, is free press in Ghana a facade? We table this for a riveting discussion. Later on, we'll focus on Ernest Owusu Bempeh's apology after that episode that angered a number of showbiz personalities. I am Benefo Boabin Abrantipa, and this is Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV. Thanks for joining us on Bloggers Forum. I am Abrantipa. Abdul Karim Ibrahim, it's a columnist. He joins us for this episode. Karim, welcome.
Thank you very much, everyone.
And Baraka de Sala.
Baraka Kadi.
Mabdunad Nanaya Asari, aka Romeo, is a columnist and the assemblyman for Medina Social Welfare. Romeo, welcome. So is in order to say Baraka de Sala
on the streets.
Medina dear. I didn't
know Romeo is an assemblyman. No.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big man. No.
Romeo, dear. You know, back then on the University of Ghana campus, he's always been a leader. Oh. He's been JCR president of Ekwafu Hall. Yeah. What's our idea of your craft? Now we're there with School of Performing Arts.
Oh, now we're in charge of the young doctor.
maybe excited there 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you were part of the executive council of the SRC anyway. All right. So, Ama Bruni is on standby with Nkomo. Let's join her. We'll be back shortly.
Aha. Obebisa so na atare kokoye aye ni braba violence ankasa celebrate say wo krom ha na watwi mu din sem bi tu dwa mo anka ni yin mo amahu attack na akoso no aye wo jatwa to the dending Ama Broni komo akoso entertainment industry na maboa no amede ba besom ma yentwa yen ho ne embracesia se wuti u baby na wodwem ho na se obi kofa asem be for aye ya wankasa aye ye nua actress Efia Odo na wakwakoye interview o BBC News Pidgin Efia na wo bisa no questions say ni say den na ekos wa onim say fix the country we dey no cha ye Ghana ha ye boy economy ni mu ye din che say wo ye adwuma ska ketu afia bi na obenya na wakaso mo fix the country say wa onim say Efia Odo ye convey na odi ani mankasa na Efia din sem bia beto jo twema eye me a wo krom ha say one nkwafo kununum say politicians or say movie directors one nkwafo edida say na be ya ometumi survive nti dwuma wo mu okrom ha na mafo say Efia menye sa se wonim say wona adwuma bi a wonya nya nti na woni nkwafo ka say wo na men ka say me a wo krom ha woni nkwafo da for survivor mo amobeka ya eye 2018 na actress Moisha Budon okọ CNN no ni Christiana Mampo koye interview bi no de tuma amanfo wo krom ankanka ne me nkwafo kununum na woni wonder say na be ya high apartments ka kakra bi na wonya na wodem ebe ye de anu tuma say oh ade na muguye ni masesa na Efia Odo kire ma o se me anu wa na wode won body nti so be man nkwafo adwudwam sa na wa ma and ye ono anti ye ono anybody nti nyo wa ye bia say wo be survive say wo de na obi kunu be da wo politician no enfo bia ho Ghana for say ye fix the country in common wodi no nya nja ayo wo ko Twitter other social media platforms and ye how e koso Ghana ye bad those ni ade wo tro ana wo de ashase ho baby fix the country hashtag na trendy ankasa na e koso na ye female musician your friend Amar wa unim na fancy wa unim say she has a different vibe oba be tweeting on so din sem bia betu jo twemo politicians there mo betumi yakase o nema nkoso ya ase wo betie won fa anye hwe but ubo modern na ko kidnap won baba ko bia honum na wan adwen bebe fie na mafuka say ade de wan boss Ghana ha say ana say but say na nkomo yikoi de wan ze Ghana say say protest koso politicians wanti no bo say na ye Ghana ha sem no ka na say general na bo say from had and said the aye wild who ko cancel be one can here was national security one ba no one be so out nti was am marriage na you ye to aso na wo twe mu na fix the country one wo die nim na wo de betu dwa so obesan ko wo ye demonstration kakra bi na wo ma ban hu say na wo kan wo social media hashtag campaign wo ye fix the country enye gori na asemi koso na waka so be ye demo na Ghana police for 10 wo se sa ene e behwe America wo ye fast wa je say wo court kwa na okoje injunction wo de to so court chema mo amunim say coronavirus nti ban on public gathering nti muntu menya sa protest ene wo se sa na mo be ye mo pese mo stop yen ene wo san so twa so na wo de ye virtual demo ene kufu bebre fix the country wo post ya na wo de ahye ho fix the country ensem bebre koso na ye na manfo say aye demonstrators here walkita placards kentina makwakọ sesa amokas mako dina Independence Square ene nka ye nka to kosi hade nka woni na obayo mafu chemo na mu ye na ehunia wa sesa cars say wa nka so ko Independence Square was ka wo be hu nsem ekoso na mafu so face the country nde wonye njaye wo be koso akosi say chrome ha say nsem na ekoso wo be solve amawo mwana na muhwenim say sa akode edina no beto fix the country nsem no finally wakasa ochwema aban eto so na na dodan kwekufado wo betumi aye ma afemudi na mo de abo amafo betumi affect your attitude all right but the system ni adwuma enye nya ye ho betre nti ochwema mwana mokaso politics ni aden ono na ekoso no de nani hwe but asen chrome has a one kwakebia na wa tag you say we wo support government of the day oti akode achwema aban eto so mo betumi aye ne chinsa mo ye adwuma na so mo nka mu hwe kakra na nso ochwema yen so ye wo chrome ha senso ye afemude nti government ni bo no homodin na yen so ye bo ye homodin some mama who say ye fix the country campaign ye ko social media celebrity say wo chrome ha do ho ejima nkasa na ye kan ye ke ya na NS Owusu Bempa of Ghana Gas ordinance na anu abetu nsemi ochema celebrity say wo chrome ha say mo nya mu ni papa asem yi ba yi mo bo eye na na dodran kwachi mo bo na echi sa so onbo ne homode na fan kosia mo kasa mo trotro tweet na face the country mo kasa se ne bia manu mo nsa mo say ena so bempa asem aba na ye kan na wo ba ka say mo kasa sa kasa na ye kasa ben ne le jawo tutu bi ma na kasa je say wa power na kasa wo chemo wa nkasa yi ope hint na se nye sa na ohun ze na nkomo no kɔ na ɔno ankasa bai no so opa mo chew ewo mu se nsɛm na ɔkan e bia na ye hash kakranti mu bia amfa ne bɔkɔ sa na mototo bia ma nti opa mo chew mo fa mo ne enche no I am music producer Morris Babyface and odin se bia betudwa ɔtwema kan na no worry asen oh eye emi a wo se won no nkoda in a day onua tiama tia asem ya mabeke in a day otumi famia mako nan 4 otumi no wonder asem beto do na say Morris wo ye sure no chema ono ankasa o how bia no fem tam wo wiasen ono ankasa say on wonder on tia say otumi ka so wedi ewejai wa ma ne nsa so obeye fasting yes wa ya akomchi onya ye so bebreki ana gesi afre na na eja wa aba na wa be say nti Morris na offer how mu pa ko sise na da bia de ne koma ni sofu bi naija empaibo kakra wo break ade na afede efi no so nti Morris Babyface chema kan na no nkofo da ne de me utumi famia afọ no sankanya kopo enje na ka by this time koguso so abrem na ka be se ka 20 ne over so won say do election time celebrities some endorse political parties and no candidates wa hu 2020 ba ku ya yekoye ne Samini MPP or endorse one fine campaign ma won kama amafo chema bi be di ne side just scan wo twia na nkasa ye ni mu na moka na Links Entertainment omo former sign 20 Dub Nation what dem say me abetudwa wo se won pa say political party bi on be endorse won de anka common de won wo se won nya sa de ni bida ko efi say wo endorse won wo ma wo ska kakra fe de wo ba na se won bo won homodin a na fe de ese wo kasa untumi nkasa ye because ase won sa hye wanum into one day one will follow one will pay one what feel all over the world into one to mean by no one castle or more endorse party here and I say party B into pass or be endorse there uncle common the one Mix Master Gazi wow the music producer we're producing your baby will come I D crime no Coco Sakura or no producing Stoneboy album ya Gloga Junction no mni fakesia or no producing na oba talk entertainment with Elsie Lama GhanaWeb TV Mix Master Gazi chema odwuma no say royalties in Basa but kakra be kona no dey bi okomon de no kra manfo de men kai ma revo mo be kai Bishop Bernard Nako Kumawood actor last year 2020 owi na ni wuyi echi na nsem bebre pie ni colleague ba ko Christian Awuni ochema wuyi abe ya manfo tete se wo so onu no okum no so onu Christian Awuni afa ifa ko kumo nipa na mo sande betu ja se na Bishop Tiasi na ne mpran ne twempran so ni nyina wati oba interviews with Zion Felix no chema ni nyina nyampa oni Bishop an twempne bia ono ana osi but asema mo kaso oni ninya kasa bi no bia bi huntu ekobo ni duan o se ni nyina nyampa Bishop we oni ni asem bia kosisi besi ne ebusia no won ye okay otimi kosra won ne ade nti sa asem na mo kan opamocho Munjaika na grada me pamucho Evangelist Patricia Odro Cranton no chema NCA muka say oko close down need to TV stations bi and now asem na wo court egusu kan ho asem na odi atu just say NCA car na odi won mo wo say operate illegally no ni license no operate o say we twia saka ni nyina times o use a year when we twia ni nyina to the extent say 2 years advance kwa we twia and of course okay so wa kan ya ate ye kwa kwhwem ni hu say eyampa na grade de hu say na we twi de o ti say wa trend ya okonfo bia so say de ho amanyame say so Evangelist na ensem ekoso ya na osofu ba ko wo kroma Prophet Kumchacha wa wati ase ochema time bia obeba na obeka agrada ho nsem ese so onu do so ye 419 dwuru no du bunkrofo okroma obeka ne ho asem bia na agrada se so Evangelist na wasoma new young boys bi na aba no na be pachel ko si se wo discover brain wo se na ko person bribe so na be obeye din Kumchacha so ono sa 2000 5000 anya no hwio asem na okan ne se wo ye fake to be expose you Kumchacha so be expose di de ne abrantepa yewie na wotwe nkomo ekoso na mabroni maboa no amede abrem that's ne ebehia.
We are back. It's Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV. My guest Abdul Karim Ibrahim is a columnist Romeo McDonald Nanaya Asare is also a columnist. Next on the table, express freedom in Ghana, whether it is a facade or, I mean, there are some things that the journalists and the media houses are not doing. Are we being educated enough? Are we overstepping our boundaries? And in instances where we overstep, what is supposed to be done? Karim, you have been in the journalism business for close to a decade. You have a story to tell?
You know, I don't do quite as great the job that some of you do. And so, fortunately or unfortunately, I do not have such a magnificent story to tell like you have, like we've seen with Caleb, like Manasseh, like Anas, like Edward Snowden, like Julian Assange. I don't have any such, except that I remember something. I mean, it pales in comparison to some of these other stories. But back on campus, so there was this period during this SRC election thing, the famous Phoebe McDad for Legon people. And some of us were quite vociferous on radio at the time. And I remember receiving a call one day in my room, and there were two guys on the other end. They said, "You carry me now? Sorry, who did a candidate not terminal? You did be on Charlie." So I know it was a very. I mean, at that level, it was not a big deal really for me. But I got scared briefly because like Charlie, because I don't know who. And I mean, nothing happened to me. Nobody did anything to me. But that's just my own little story in that regard. But that's also because for people who get those sorts of attacks and all of that, there are people who usually are challenging the norm. They're challenging power. And so that's where it comes from. So, I mean, some of us are not doing so great in journalism. So
with all these things that have happened, do you sometimes get scared in carrying out your duties?
Well, yes, I guess. But for me, that is not necessarily because of recent developments. I think that I live my life knowing that at any point in time where someone feels threatened by what you do, that person could harm you. So for me, it is not necessarily because, say, I work as a journalist. I believe that if I was any other person and I, say, for instance, go on Facebook and write something critical of somebody, the person could harm me. So that's how I see it. Notwithstanding that, I think that there are, I mean, some examples, evidence to suggest that the people also who have dedicated their lives to do this work of journalism and do it well get attacked because of the work that they are doing. So that's also there. So obviously you always have it at the back of your mind to worry a bit. But if you ask my personal story, it is not because of journalism for me, even though I'm sure that it could be sometime to come in the future maybe.
With all that has happened in the last couple of weeks, what's your own assessments of the issues?
So let me start from Captain Smart and then segue into the Kelakuda situation. So you see, when the question is asked whether or not media freedom in Ghana is under threat, that question is a very ambiguous one. And so the answer to that question, it's often also quite complex. It is pretty similar to fix Ghana now. And the question, if you say fix Ghana now, what do you mean? Because, I mean, if you want roads, government is doing roads somewhere. If you want employment, government can point to someone who has been employed. Does that mean that your claim or demand for fix Ghana now is invalid? So that's how this media freedom thing is. Is media freedom under attack in Ghana? Well, we're here, we're talking. We can say anything that we want today and it will be published. But it is also true that some people have done work as journalists and have been attacked by one person or the other. So I like to answer that question this way, that there are accounts, evidence, symptoms of media oppression in this country. As to whether or not that is
commissioned by, say, the state. That's a different thing altogether. But what is clear is that the countenance of the state also more or less emboldens some of these acts at one point or the other. So in some instances, you, for instance, have, say, the chief spokesperson for the government, Kudo Ponkroma, would make claims that don't, just as bad, let us not do this, in support of media freedom. I mean, the president will say one of such in his speech and all of that. You get government people or the state saying things in support of the media. But other times, you will get the likes of Mr. Kennedy Japan and many others also say other things to inflame passions and create chaos. So you can find evidence everywhere. But I leave a lot of this to our conscience and what we see. So then if you look at Captain Smart, it is clearly a case of suppression. Because if the account that he has provided is anything to go by or to use, and especially also mindful of the fact that I have not heard the person that he is charged here coming to provide a counter position on the matter. So it appears quite clear that he is taken off because he has said something that is against the establishment. And so that is a problem. You see, if you go to Australia today, the government of Australia is doing so much to deal with the monopoly that Rupert Murdoch holds on Australian media. It literally covers, what, more than 70% or something. That sort of power that is created by media conglomeration and all of that is something that we need to have conversations about. So Dr. Kokutin, who is the owner of the group, has so many platforms across. I'm someone who endorses free speech without any reservations. But that does not also mean that we cannot be wary of control and power. So that at any point in time, because you have access to all of these, you can just pick your phone and say, right, I don't like that you said A, B, C, D to this person and that person. Under the guise of maybe it's doing damage to our business. So, you know, go stay somewhere briefly. Because when you do that, you're essentially cowering that person and leaving some memory for him that this is a frame of reference. Be careful tomorrow not to cross this line. And I think that that's problematic. But if I could just talk also about Caleb Kuda. You see, it is most unfortunate, the sort of things that we're hearing people say and all of that. Don't forget that this is a country that we all live in. There's enough evidence that the state security apparatus have always behaved very irresponsibly and very unprofessionally. So let it not necessarily be, say, a journalist. At every point in time that they have come into contact with people that they disagreed with on anything, they have showed little respect for the rule of law. So when there's an encounter like that, our reaction should not quickly be to go and defend the state. I know this Caleb story very, very, very well. And so the moment I heard that Caleb had been arrested, and I heard the location, Blue Gate, I knew what it was about. Because he and I had conversation about that work that he was doing. And you see, the reason I also believe that he didn't tell his superiors when he was going there is something that we do all the time. He was only fact-checking to get some prima facie evidence to then follow up on the story. So you have already given the preamble to that. He posted something in the period of Let's Fix Ghana conversation of cars that had been bought for a certain purpose, left somewhere, growing with weeds all over it. So when he posted it, someone said that, well, those cars have been dispersed. So what you are doing is disingenuous. He felt that was, okay, a fair comment for anybody to make. He pulls that post down and apologizes. In that post where he apologizes, people come under that and say, don't take those people's word for it. Why don't you go and verify for yourself? And there are people who are lambasting as journalists, not just people tell you something and you have come to apologize, you say it's okay. So I remember when I was chatting with him personally on that, I was asking, but these cars that you posted, where are they? And then he said, oh, I've heard they are at some national security place called Blue Gate. So the moment I heard that he had been arrested and that was the place, it just dawned on me that, oh, okay, this boy probably wanted to verify that these cars were not there. And then he got himself into all of this trouble and all of that. And so, if you look at that and every detail that he has provided so far, I have no doubt in my mind that this was clearly premeditated, and maybe unfortunately for him, he walked right into the trap there and they did all that they did with him. And for anybody who's watching, for anybody who is commenting on this particular matter, you must ask yourself one quick question, that if it is true that the state has bought cars for mass-log redistribution and all of that, to, in essence, to help people who don't have jobs to use those cars to do business and all of that, and those cars were sitting somewhere, wasting away, is that good grounds for someone, even if there's a law that says that that building you can't enter, you can't also go and film and do all of that, even if all of that is true, do you reasonably believe that if Caleb walked in there and say, I'm looking for the boss here, DSP Azugu, my name is Caleb Kuda, I work with CT, I've heard that if people are keeping some cars here that is supposed to be used for ABCD, get one of your boys to take me around to go and investigate whether it is true or not. He would have been slapped. So you would be very silly to think that, well, it's national security, you don't have to go there, without due recourse to why he was there. And I think that is a very important thing that is missing in this conversation about Spark.
Okay. Romeo, let me hear your analysis of it. Do you also think that with all that has happened, journalism is under attack?
Press freedom is undoubtedly the cornerstone of any serious democracy. And it's spelled out within our constitution. Article 162, Chapter 12, 162, clauses 1 to 6. It spells out what is expected of the media and what we are not supposed to do, especially with the clause 6, which talks about the restrictions, like in a moment where, but if you look at clause 1, where press freedom is guaranteed.
Yeah.
The word, see, they knew that people would try to suppress.
Yeah.
And there are, even when you go further to clause 3, Abrantipa, if you can do as the Anna by reading clause 3 to the hearing of viewers, you realize that the constitution was tailored to protect and guide the media, being the fourth arm, like we always say, the fourth estate realm. You get it? To be able to put whoever is in power into check. And also not just to spew out words. That's where, when you go to, I think, clause 4, there is an avenue for rejoinder. When you say something and the person feels that it goes against his person or entity, you have that chance to retract, to also render an apology. Because image, they say, is expensive. Destroying it takes a long while to build. But then again, if you assess the happenings in this country, Abrantipa, in November 1994, that's where people pushed, and some first radio stations were, in terms of a private radio station, were pushed that people need to have that freedom to operate. To the extent that by the year 1995, people had the liberty to be able to set up private TV stations in this country. It was meant to open up the system, not to for the recently president, who was a champion in terms of fighting for free speech, freedom and independence of the media. That was what he's been touted for in terms of human rights activists, especially when it has to do with demonstration, the right to say what you have to say to put the government on the toe without fear or favor. So at this point, we've come too far to be experiencing things that we experienced in the past. It's retrogressing. And let me pan into this Captain Smart issue. You see, if tolerating something gives the avenue for correction, Captain Smart, I listened to the show on that day. He hits hard. He's been hitting previous systems. He's been hitting previous leaders. and he's not being attacked. But one will also say there was a point where Standobe crashed someone's recorder. These things are not supposed to happen, and if it happened in the past, it has no business in the present. I don't know if you get the clear-cut picture. Now, if someone is telling you the cement was selling at 30 cedis, but it's now selling at 52 Ghana cedis, and dollar was X amount and Y amount now, so do something about it because you are the leader, you pledge the people. I don't see where the insult is. But you see, we've also created a caveat for politicians to use the media to the extent that they want every one of us to kowtow to the whims and caprices of whoever is in power. So once you start hating, they see you as the enemy of the group. But that is not supposed to be the case. But because some leaders, in terms of some prima donors, in terms of the media business in Ghana, have sold their conscience to politicians.
Or they are politicians themselves.
And they are politicians themselves, exactly. Being a politician yourself is your personal business. But if you are a media person or a journalist, non-journalist, you have no business skewing facts to favor a political party, knowing that you owe it a duty to the people than to the politicians. So at the end of the day, once they keep using you, they expect that everyone should be in line. So once you fall out of line and your leader or your owner has some kind of affiliations with them in whatever terms, you would be used as a scapegoat, just as Captain Smart was used. Now, panning in further to Caleb's issue. Caleb, you see, journalism does not just end on reporting. It has its investigative aspect. And you don't expect me to announce to the general public that today I'll be going to Blue Gate to see if those cars are there. What if they do their damage control? What if they don't even allow me access? You get it? How would we have ascertained some corrupt practices that happened in terms of this customs thing, DVLA, these galamsey issues, even the GFA
child
issues?
trafficking.
If
Child trafficking
the journalist had announced that this is what I'm going to do, do you think someone will fall for it? You don't expect the person to tell you. It's investigative journalism. And the person did what he has to do. When you got wind of it and realized this was happening, use the right channel. In 2016, the High Court passed a judgment that no police officer can confiscate anybody's phone or gadget until there's been a warrant or a court order from the court. Before you can take my phone to check what is on my phone. And at the end of the day, people will just say, hey, you are taking pictures. We are supposed to take pictures of happenings. I'm telling you that in Eastern region, a whole week, police officers who were supposed to man or mount barriers within an enclave failed to appear even for once. And within the same week, armed robbers mounted a barrier and robbed everybody. Assuming Abrantepa, as an onlooker, if I take video of what is happening, and then today, it happened that those on duty were not policemen, they were criminals. The records of my video would have saved the police service to ascertain who were behind those crimes. But if you tell me I need permission for you to take a picture or video of, and if you want something to be done in the secret, it shouldn't be within the public domain. But once it's outside, I have the liberty to film it. But this is the level of intimidation some people are putting journalists through and are denying them that kind of liberty to do our work.
Okay, so both of you think that Caleb's approach was spot on.
Exactly.
But here is the case: the GJA president, Afromoni, is saying that Caleb erred as far as our ethics is concerned. He clearly breached the ethics relative to Article 13 of our own code of ethics, which specifies journalists should take pictures through fair, straightforward, and honest means unless tempered by national interest. His interest here is not so clear. From the face of it, we believe he erred. He goes on to say Caleb shouldn't have filmed without permission, and Caleb should have realized that place is a security zone, and in every security zone, the security law applies. It is no-go area as far as photography is concerned, and his violation of regulation might have triggered the overreaction from the security operatives. He goes on to, condemn the act and then express their, solidarity with Caleb and then Zoe.
No.
I'm not asking my question yet, but Karim is shaking his head. Karim, why are you shaking your head?
No, because that logic is so poor. It's counterintuitive. So you say that unless it is in the interest of the public or some good measure in there.
Yeah.
So that means that the blanket idea that you must film it, so visibly without any whatever, go do or take permission, all of that, can be excused under certain circumstances. The DJ president says that Caleb's intention
is not clear.
It's not clear. Who's making that judgment? Who the hell is he to make that judgment? Because
someone makes a story and goes further to want to substantiate or to prove the fact.
Has Mr. Afil-Money spoken to Caleb Kuda to take him through why he was there, what the underlying goal was, to then make this determination? Or is it the case that Mr. Afil-Money can unilaterally and so arbitrarily pronounce judgment on a matter like this, because clearly this is a matter that divides opinion, and then say that as the grand author of the codes and ethics of journalism in Ghana, the Kim Jong-un of media practice, ethical media practice in Ghana, I have looked at Caleb Kuda's action. I'm not so sure of his intent, even though I've not spoken to him, and I'm concluding that he has violated something. That's completely nonsensical. And you see, I'm angry because there's this respectability politics around some of the things that we do. And you see, especially when actions like this have consequences for the future. You heard Caleb Kuda in that interview, that very bland interview with Bernard Ablek, another very poor job that somebody like him has done in this period. That shocks all of us. That his dad called him and was like, put the family first. You see, he was worried. Tomorrow, if Caleb Kuda sees something and he gets the slightest inclination that this thing, even though it's a good story, but if I attempt something may happen, he's not going to do that. And you see, that is a dent forever on him and for many who are watching. And maybe finally, Mr. Afil-Money, in that judgment that he made there, to say that, well, he should have known that this is a security installation, blah, 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 so he could be arrested and all. You see, that arrest element is something that is quite okay and understandable, because the fact that that's some security element in there is not in doubt. So if he were only arrested and then the due process happened, that's fair enough. But when he was arrested, when he says that which are warranted or something caused the overreaction.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could read that part for me. He talks something about overreaction.
Okay. So he says it is no go area for as far as photography is concerned, and this violation of regulation might have triggered the overreaction from the security operations.
See the attempt to justify. Yes, and to play down. You see, might have influenced the overreaction. That nonsense clearly downplays the veracity of what has been done. And you don't forget also that there are equally, Mr. Afil-Money, I believe, is not a lawyer. There are lawyers of some good repute in this country who have argued vociferously that no law was breached. So again, if we were all going to pontificate about journalistic ethics and all of that, he's clearly falling short here, because he himself, with the proper appreciation of the facts of law, is making a judgment that somebody's conduct may have breached the law. I had to say that may have influenced the overreaction, and then we'll go and then say that this thing that they did was bad.
How would you assess the GJA whenever issues of such nature happens? Do you think the GJA has done enough to educate the journalists or protect their interest?
You see, especially when the challenge is clear like this and very strong like this, they have failed. Because you see, the problem is from GJA to wherever, leadership has oftentimes here in this country been very conservative and very timorous in terms of the approach to things. They lack the modern, the contemporary progressiveness and fiery attitude when it comes to making advocacy and fighting things. So I've interviewed Mr. Afemoni before. I mean, he's a fine gentleman. No disrespect whatsoever here. But these are people of a certain caliber who like things to be moderate, who like things to go through a certain known standards and norms. So anything that is so revolutionary like that shocks them. So they will be okay. I mean, they have criticized Manasseh Azuri, for instance, and intimated to an extent when he did those work on Zoomline and all of that, that somehow maybe his work may be destroying Ghanaian business. So all of those things, and I think that they need to be very careful the position that they take. And that is also precisely the problem that we have collectively as a journalist. Because when this whole matter came, Mr. Benadavle, who is the boss of Caleb Kuda, who is also the journalist of the year, when he was telling this story, told it in a manner that suggested that here was an independent, objective, neutral journalist of the year, Mr. Benadavle, that everybody likes, and engage the story like a third party. You see, when you are part of a pack and it gets abused in that respect, the idea of some objectivity, some neutrality becomes nonsense within that particular context. And here, I'm not even advocating that he should say, take the side of Caleb Kuda, even if he doesn't believe his story. I am saying that the attempt to be some neutral guy sent from, say, BBC, that something has happened in Ghana, so he's coming and do a conversation without appreciation of the context doesn't help. And that is what GG does a lot of these times. Trying to stay in the middle and interrogate the issues and ask questions, because as journalists, we ask questions. We ask questions for what?
Romeo, on the GGA thing,
I think Mr. Money is not a fountain of knowledge. And in this regard, an experienced person with good intentions would have even engaged the journalists in question before even putting out any comment, knowing that there wouldn't have been nothing behind Caleb going to that extent. Definitely, there was a rationale behind his movement, and there's been sort of a platform that he had made a publication earlier in that regard. Someone came in to refute it. Then, as a journalist, you need to redeem your image. Otherwise, people will tag you as publishing fake or false informations, and it affects your brand. Now he goes beyond the mouse and then digs to find out or to ascertain that this thing I highlighted, you people came to rebut it, but here lies the case. It's here. So he was digging for it, which is part of journalism. So I don't get the angle from which I feel money was coming from. If you remember, Kwachi Afreniama, he's been silenced now. Not even a word on Facebook ever for a very long time. Why? Because he was constantly on the neck of the sanitation minister and I feel money. And he leading the pack. For me, honestly speaking, I don't trust him. So I don't trust his judgments. Because any good leader, for instance, if I happen to be the president of Ghana, and an appointee goes to do something, before even releasing a statement to the public, I'll call my appointee and query him and ask him what happened. And then you'll be able to know the nitty-gritties of the happenings. Yeah. So when you're putting out a statement, you say for a fact, not just mere assumption. He was just assuming that the young man. Meanwhile, you have, aside your code of ethics, the Constitution. He should take the Constitution and open to chapter 12 from Article 2162 clause 1 to 6 and tell us which of the two, compared to the journalism code, is more supreme. So he should give us a break. Honestly speaking, he didn't speak like a father. Okay. And it saddens my heart that same people will go out to make him retain his position.
So, how should media houses handle issues of such nature when your employer, when your staff is being abused for what, I mean, in the course of their duties? How should they be handled?
Good. Abrantepa, apart from the Caleb incident, there are some media houses who are also not doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not doing the right things in the light that they are not even paying their workers, but they are not paying their social securities. People are quiet in this country because of lack of jobs. They are scared to be shown the exit.
I've heard people say journalists are the only people who speak for others, but there is no one to speak for them.
Exactly, because once you try to be loud, those who are very loud are those who are well established, that they have something working for them. So you can't tell them what to say. A typical classical example, Captain Smart. He had his foot on the pedal, and knowing that he has a setup, he's free to do whatever he likes. Like Kennedy Japan, he's rich, so he can speak his mind even against his government. But you be in that party and be poor and be employed by government and be poor and speak against government and see if you will not be shown the exit. But because the man Kennedy Japan is what to do, he feels comfortable telling people the truth. So now, if you do the whole analysis, it tells you that truth in this country is dependent on your stomach. And most media houses are doing the wrong thing, like I said earlier. They are not paying the right salaries to the workers. They are also not paying their social security. And in terms of even taxes, most are not doing the right thing. So they feel that once they allow their outfit to hit the government in power, when they start coming after them, it will affect them. I'm not using Captain Smart per se, but there are myriad of them in this system operating in the same way. But remember, it was this social security issue that sent someone like Agude to jail. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but it's as if the law is softened when Mr. A is concerned. It's bite harder when Mr. B is concerned. These are the injustices we are talking about in the system, that the system must be fixed.
Yeah, so see, and I hate to be dwelling so much on the Caleb Kuda story. I mean, it is the latest, it is good to use that, but everything I'm saying here, I would hope that people understand it to be about the broader perspective, because remove Caleb Kuda and put someone in there, or remove 2021 and push it to 2050, these principles must apply the same way. So you ask, what must media houses do? I'm happy that Senior Rubio here has talked about, the fact that, consider to the fact that there may be some other things that are done wrongly. But in the specific instance of when journalists have been under attack in this manner, we have failed to seize the moment to let those who have power realize that we can fight back. So of all the things that Mr. Samuel Otamensa said in that interview, which had Caleb in there yesterday, the only part for me that resonated quite well was what he said. He told one of the operatives when they, invaded their premises, that don't forget that we are media personnel, and that today you are doing your work. We're telling you to calm down and do it professionally. You are not listening. When you are done with your work today and you go,
we also do our
tomorrow
work.
And forever, we have the field day to also do our work. Except that seems to me plainly rhetorical. He's not added the work to it for me so far. This is what I would have expected in this case. That yesterday when they did that interview with Caleb Kuda, the last 5 minutes they said, so what have you decided to do? And I was waiting for something revolutionary. I didn't hear that. Yesterday, Bernard Avle had declared, and if they thought, for instance, that was huge enough what had happened, to say that Bernard Avle, today is going to cross the line that he has always been on, the moderate that he has been, and said that today, in solidarity with Caleb Kuda, he is hitting the streets, and that any journalist in this country who is minded to once and for all do something, she would walk and come join him. You have absolutely no idea how that would be. You see, we need to seize moments and take very drastic action. I appreciate that people are different and they look at things differently. Maybe he is, or generally may not be as radical as I am attempting to be. Or that maybe I'm probably even seeing it, we're not seeing the bigger picture, whatever it is. The point is that there could be many other things that you can do. Seize the moment and not sit within the issue at the height of it and play nice guy.
You expected a protest?
I expected that. I mean, there could be other things that they could explore, but I'm saying that within the context of what is happening, I would expect that. And you see, it is also because you need to send a statement. Here in this country, everything comes down to political leadership, because our politics is one that revolves around a certain bureaucracy and leadership. That means that they have so much power to do anything that they want, especially in instances where those things threaten their political fortunes. So if you want them to act, then you go there. But when you let it go like that, as we have always done, then clearly what you do is, because these national security guys and all of that, the reason why they have so much impunity is because of the people who appointed them. And they know that as it happened at Ayawaso, they will stand behind them. You see, this is DSP Azugu. We saw the work that he led at Ayawaso. It was completely chaotic. It was very unprofessional according to the, I mean, you can infer from the report of the commission, among many other things. And then the next time that we see him out there in the public, he sends 3 armed officers, about 7 armed officers in 3 pickups to go grab a lady. They were even fraudulently using Caleb Kuda's phone to draw her. I mean, how are you Boko Haram? You take the person's phone, just say, where are they? We could go chop. So meet God, you meet them outside so that they would abduct her. And then when you go into the building, you are applying force to drag this lady out. I mean, what is wrong with us? And you see, they are doing that because they know that as Budo, or what is the name of that guy who slapped some judge, nothing happened to him. They know that nothing will happen to them because the people who have put them there need them there. And that is why...
So they do it with impunity.
Yeah, so that's why the journalists in this moment needs to act and not call on God that in the next 4 years when you retire or something. Come on, God.
The problem we have is that, you see, when it's happening on the other side of the bank of the river, people feel, oh, it will take a while to cross to my end. When a politician experiences such, some journalists made mockery of it. But by and by, it's crossing the line. And it's high time we tell people in the face, it doesn't matter who is in power. Once it has to do with abuse, especially journalists, people doing their professional works, and then it crosses the line, you tell the person, you make sure it's because it has happened to Asarda before. It's happened to Oslewusu. It has happened to Kwame Batels.
That's not what the
it has happened to a lot of people. But at the end of the day, we say nothing, and we are the same people who empower these people with so much impunity. But if you, as a leader, watches on, tomorrow if you're not in power, the same people will be unleashed on you. But once we set a reasonable standard, even if you're in opposition, you would have that relaxation and comfort and believe in the system that even if you pour yourself out on the street, people cannot indiscriminately attack you because you hold a contrary view to a happening in the country. But once we watch on, if Party A leaves power and Party A B comes, they also recruit and they will also target others, and we will be in a cycle.
Okay.
So it's high time journalists in this country should stop aligning themselves to political parties so that they can do their work without fear or favor.
Okay. Right. So there's a post I chanced on yesterday. The man I call my manager, Rabiu Al-Hassan, is a senior colleague. And he says, thugs stormed the courts to release someone under trial. An investigative journalist killed, and it remains a cold case to date. A journalist has allegedly been tortured by state security, and no one has been held to account. 5 citizens killed during elections. Masked state security officials storm a polling station, fire gunshots during a by-election. Guess where all these things happened? Ghana. Look, we are emboldening wrongdoers, feigning rule of law, and continuing in our partisan defense of the status quo. But know that when it blows up, it will consume all of us. And on this note, we take a break. When we return, we do an Osusu Bempe's apology to celebrities for...
Thank you. And your favorite mobile money?
Tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
Welcome back. It's Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV. The name is Abrantipa. Romeo and Abdul Karim Ibrahim are my guests for this episode. Next is Ernest Owusu-Bempah, the head of communication at Ghana Gas. Now, remember last week we had a conversation on his epistle on social media, but before that he had granted an interview with Peace FM. Let's take a listen to the interview. We'll be back to read his apology.
Fixing the illiteracy problem, which has become part and parcel of us. I'm on my way, I go backward. Obide, JSS, I know Abegina social media, I know twerk just to become a celebrity. That thing will stop. The ordinary Ghanaian can read in between the lines and know the difference between intellectual discourse and propaganda. Obibe Transwa, Oma Ghana, da sumu 4 years. Am I a problem? He is fixing it. Obit me Koro Akotrash in the cream book Muse, Yesi Kwine Ewo, Coco Road, over Kona Kwine in one year, Cockroach de John, a Kufuado Sondo, a leader, on Fesika mass celebrities and Kodi, Romo Mechatron Ghana for. He will fix the problems, and Ghanaians should help him fix the mess. NDC John Dramani Mahama, Ejato. This is what we are talking about. And yes, celebrity or two man. Nidiani say, down over criticize. We are almost celebrities or more Ghana. I've been some actors and actresses and whatever. Have they been able to even put themselves together? Say, yeah, common force fighting to win an award. Cry simple award like Mobo, and I say simple award like Grammy. What is so yet me we need you are? They should go and fix themselves up. If they want to fix the country, they should go back and fix themselves up. I dare them, if they can even win one international award for us in the movie industry, I will say yes. They have fixed themselves up before they have that shenanigans to come and tell the president or the government that they should fix themselves up.
So after this interview and the epistle that he put on social media, a number of celebrities, Omo Bashin, Romeo Kralase Yega, Otitu Bimano. Now, Ernest Owusu-Bempah goes on social media again, and this time around it's an apology. He says, while some agreed with the piece, it wasn't all hearts and flowers. Let me state that my motivation to write that piece was not to slander all celebrities in general, nor persons involved in the campaign, but to bring to the fore some salient indicators with regards to where we are as a country, and to correct some serious negative phenomenon within the Ghanaian celebrity front. I have taken a second look at the write-up, and although nothing that I wrote is an untruth, I admit that perhaps I was too harsh in some of my conclusions and the choice of words. This shouldn't have been the case, and I apologize to all those who may have been hurt by the piece. I'm sorry. I therefore retract the strong and uncomplimentary language used in the write-up. Maybe the issues that I was so much concerned about would not have been glossed over had I not engaged in some early conclusions. Romeo, apology, no, who accept you, patch, but apology accepted.
The best apology in this regard would have been for him to resign. But because in this country, what we call integrity is a scarce commodity. So people feel they can easily eat their cakes and have it. On many occasions have we heard people in such positions spew unwarranted words, spew, excuse my language, gibberish, and then come back and tell us, upon further reflections, I realized my utterances were, you resign. Because you are in a capacity as a PR communicator. So whatever you say, before you churn it out, you understand how it travels. We had a PRO of Thor some years back, Miss Abaloko. You won't hear her double in this, excuse my language, this gata deliveries like Osu Bemba did. But you see, if leadership, when we talk about fixing a system, we are talking about leadership taking responsibility, leadership showing the way. That me, as a young person, I have no business in insulting people. Insulting people in the sense that when you look down upon people's profession and use words in which intend to poo-poo whatever efforts they've put out in terms of nation building, then it becomes unfortunate. People like Socrates Safo should have been the ones leading the front to call for his resignation, because they have been the committed people in that regard in terms of creative arts people who were on the forefront working for this government. And then someone who, through their sweat, wins power for you to get such a juicy appointment, you sit back and then you diss them, and then people watch on. He comes back and spew a few things and he says he's sorry. Like seriously, so in my capacity as who? And then I insult the president and I say I'm sorry. I should be dealt with. People should be made to face sanctions once they cross the lines. So you, as Abrantepa, you are the entertainment head, right? The entertainment head of GhanaWeb. In your capacity as a leader, if you see something that transcends a barrier or a boundary that you are not supposed to set, leadership should sanction you, so that whoever takes over, or when you come back, you will know how to relate or put things out there.
But in this case, is resignation the only means?
There was this chief of staff lady who made a comment on Facebook. When people complained about over 1,000 chief of staff and they are some photographers and they are being paid. You remember, even our own Sandra Ebu, whose name came up, and there was this lady who was also part. When it came up, people called for their resignation because they insulted the conscience and the intelligence of Ghanaians, and also insulted those who are genuinely also qualified but have not been employed and still remain unemployed. At the end of the day, what happened? Nothing happened. It was glossed over. So because that standard had not been set by the Apex leadership. So when those at the bottom commit it, no one calls them to order. So also Bempa would say this, and tomorrow he will release another epistle, lambasting another arm of a society, and then you come back and tell you that he's sorry. And that is how the system has been molded to be.
Abdul Karim Ibrahim. Apology, no.
I know we don't have much time. I know we don't have much time.
Yeah, but I mean,
apology to me. Oh, I'm far apology. For the record, I don't have, in principle, any problem with insults. I think insults are good. They communicate the true feeling in any situation. So many issues are.
Okay.
So, but insults can also be hurtful. So in instances where based on your own judgment you think that you have hurt somebody, you want to retract and all of that, then that's cool. But here's the issue for me. I want to just read quickly some of the things that he said, and that's where my challenge is. So it says, why do these entertainers think anybody really gives a crap about what they think? Of course, this is the downside to social media, where below average intelligent folks who can't read and understand English want to teach the president how to govern. And then goes on to say that the politics of attrition and patronage isn't going to help these misfits
and their backers. Do you know Mr. Osubempa? I mean, he belongs to the NDP or something, the former president's, former first lady's party. Yes, and then with problem with the NDC, that's a lot of PR work for the NPP. If we come get a job, we will give you some. That is politics of attrition and patronage. He's the biggest beneficiary of that. But you see, the problem is the contempt in describing and insulting people who are equally citizens. They just so happen to be entertainers, celebrities, whatever. That for them, somehow, they are not qualified to complain. They are not qualified to contribute to the political discourse. And so, because those people's businesses oftentimes rely on the mass appeal of people, we try to get them to be silent because we will remind them that you are, say, Sarkodie, you are this, you are that. If you venture into this space, we will make our people maybe stop listening to your music and all of that. Those are some of the things that get them to be quiet. What I don't like, I don't mind if you disagree with someone and insult them till heavens. I couldn't be bothered. What I don't like is for people like him who are only benefiting today because of their political affiliation to tell other people to shut up. And that when those people are not happy with what is going on, because he is happy in whichever petroleum, wherever business, lucrative enterprise that he is in working, other people cannot complain. That is where the problem is for me. And so I don't take people like that very seriously. And I think that if he is, for instance, minded at all, because we are discussing his apology, if he's minded at all to take that thing that he has done very seriously, going forward, he would know and recognize that it is a function of this democracy that we have, that all and everybody can make inputs, can criticize, however rambunctiously, in this whole arena. And that when they do that, he can disagree with them, but he has absolutely no right to call them names and categorize them in a certain way as though they have no entitlement like he does because he's in politics. That we cannot countenance at all.
All right, that's our time will allow us. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for coming. Abdul Karim Ibrahim is a columnist. He's a broadcast journalist. He's an international debater. In fact, this is the gentleman who exposed Dr. UN. Yeah, Dr. UN. Then Sapo DNA.
But you are the one who did the Dr. UN interview.
Don't listen to him.
The only interview that somebody did with Dr. UN was Abrantipes.
So he exposed Dr. UN, and yeah, I mean after that one, I said, "Tonto Dikensu Koji play TV." They had to take. This man I've forgotten. He works with the UN.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the name has escaped me. He was the one who pointed out to them that, Masa, I want say, yes, Luchi. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they had to take him to correct them. So, Karim, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
McDonald Nanaya Asari, aka Romeo, he's a columnist 1, assemblyman for Madina Social Welfare 2. Number 3, he's a voice coach. Miss Ghana for Nina, our coach will be on how to talk, speech. Have I said you are an actor? Romeo is an actor. He's been JCR president before. Legon. The other person they was I shouldn't mention, so I'll pause here.
Big man.
Yeah, he's a big man. Media, I just came to host the show. Thank you for watching. We are still celebrating our 22nd anniversary. It's hashtag GhanaWeb22. The theme is GhanaWeb then, now, and later. And one of our projects is the road safety campaign. We want to reduce the number of accidents on our roads, film anything that you see on the roads that poses as a danger to the lives of persons. Send them to us via email, newswires@ghanaweb.com, newswires@ghanaweb.com. We are on social media. Let's get interactive. Is at the GhanaWeb on all social media platforms. Thank you for watching Bloggers Forum. I am Benefo, who have been Abrantipa.
powers and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the fact and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next. To be
I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you are denying funny face. It's not my brother. You are denying funny face. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
What we look out for in a partner when it comes to matters of the heart, whether thick or slim, tall or short, handsome or beautiful, they must meet our expectations somehow. But have you asked yourself this question? Would you date yourself if you came as the opposite gender? Got an answer? Let's talk about the questions where you need to ask yourself before going into a relationship and whether it is right to lower your expectations when it comes to matters of the heart. I am Paulina Deda Opoku. This is Mons and Cuddles. We'll be right back. It's good to have you back on Mons and Cuddles here on GhanaWeb TV. We're back again, and today I have been joined by one of our finest guests. He's always made it a point to grace our show, Mystic Mike. He is the managing editor of blackpepper.com. Mike, Welcome back.
Many thanks, Paula.
And I also have a fine lady here, the only queen, Quenita.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Quenita is also a writer. Today, I know he's going to give you in-depth, detailed, because the conversation is going to be very engaging.
Certainly,
right?
Certainly.
That we can promise our viewers.
Certainly.
Great. Mystic.
Yeah?
Would you date yourself if you came in the version of an opposite gender?
Why wouldn't I? What's there not to like? I have many attributes that convince my good self that I would love to date myself were I a woman. You know, I'm affable, I'm humorous, I'm caring, I'm open-minded, I'm not prone or given to violence. I'm not going to beat and kill you. I'm not going to beat and maim you. I'm not going to cause you irreparable damage or any damage at all, as it were, you know. And I reckon that any man were there to find me, had I come as a woman, would have been truly fortunate to have had me.
Mr. Are you also considering the role that if you came as a woman you are going to play? Are you okay with those roles? And how should I list them?
I do not see any problem at all, my good lady. I reckon that even with the very painful ones, those who shout and cry, those who can lay even on their backs, those who can even lay, you know, on their melons, even the most painful ones, those who can go to work, who are nearly disabled, those who even, you know, ease on themselves, even amidst all of that, they continue to exist. They live their lives. And I reckon that it should not be a reason why anyone, if they had a choice, will say, I don't want to come as a female. I think I would have braved the odds.
Nita, would you date yourself if you came as a man?
100%.
Let's give me the reasons why you think you would have been a better man.
For me, I think that I'm a very understanding person. I'm open-minded. I'm not judgmental. I'm quite affable. I'm also fun to be with, you know. I'm also quite social, and I'm generous. I'm kind. I'm generous. I have empathy. So if I came as a man, definitely I'll date myself.
Why would you not date yourself if you came as a man? Mr. What would you say?
I'm very humorous, as you might know. I'm creative. I can set a crowd on fire. I'm an MC as well, so I could make people laugh and all that. But I can also be indoors, and I wouldn't feel anything missing at all. So what I might change might be that I would be more outgoing, go out there and explore, you know, venues, and, you know, get to taste, you know, people the more.
So when it comes to cooking, you got it?
Of course. Yeah, at home, we're raised, myself and my sister, Joyce, you know, were raised together as partners. You know, in our home, there was no dedicated job for a male or a female. You know, we washed together. I washed the first one, she washed the second and dried. If it's a place, I washed the first one, she will rinse it and all that. And we had demarcated, you know, roles or duties. You know, sometimes this week you sweep, you handle the sweeping duties. Another time you handle this. So it was rotated. So it was, well, women, I'm not a woman, I won't do this. No, I didn't have any of those problems. So, I mean, I think if any man should have had me, if I came a woman,
as a girlfriend,
he would have been very fortunate indeed.
Okay. Nita, but then are there any reasons why you wouldn't have dated yourself if you came as a man?
I'm free-spirited, so I don't like to be cowed. And because of that, I also don't know how to kowtow to people, you know. I'm not sheepish. I don't have a sheepish demeanor. I'm a very confident person. I don't have a sheepish demeanor.
So if you are a man, you are, with the submissions that you gave, like, you know, you're not sheepish, stuff like that, would you be able to love your, you know, your woman fully?
Being sheepish means you are subservient. I am not a subservient person. If you find me not being assertive, it's because I choose not to. Do you understand?
That's just fine.
It is not because I feel intimidated or I'm being sheepish or I'm being subservient. No, it's because I choose not to.
I asked a question, I threw the question up. Would you date yourself if you came as, the opposite gender? And then I had response for like 3 women, and they were like, hey, with the money that I'm earning, if I came as a man, what will I even be getting to even help or assist my woman? So when it comes to that, we can't. So now they have come to realize that, hey, then the role that men play wasn't easy, because you're always going like, okay, give me money, support me with this. But then now, if you were supposed to take the seat as a man, now they are coming to realize, will I be able to fend for? Not to say that they are not working, they are working, but then for the whole thing, school fees, stuff like that, all the things that men do. Now they've come to mistake. Now they are seeing how it is to be a man.
Of course. I mean, even in the home, there's division of labor. Yeah. There's an agreement among the couple that we need to, mark things so that we can have a generally well-balanced home. So the man will take certain duties, largely financial. He takes, in most homes, the male will take the most of the financial burden, the apparels of the woman, the other things. Even though the woman works, they will tell you, I'm your wife. It's your responsibility for me to look good. And so more often the women play the supportive role after the man has done all those things, and perhaps there's there's some other things they don't want to. I'll take this one, But of course, it's not in every Ghanaian home. There are some homes where the women take the larger chunk of the burden. But if you generally look at our Ghanaian, family life, often it is the men who have the larger income disposability.
Generally, men are providers. Okay, generally, men are providers. You see, because of the current dispensation of feminism and the quest or the campaign for female equality, the gendered roles is being confused in the conversation. There are roles that are gendered roles. Okay. I know that what I am saying right now will rub feathers, but it's the truth, it's the fact. They are gendered roles. So unless we begin to have that kind of conversation, for us to stop confusing everything and let us distinguish and let us accept that we have roles that are gendered. Okay, then we'll be having this kind of problems. Because see, let me tell you something. No matter how financially independent a woman is, okay, for as long as she's in a relationship or she's married, okay, once there is the presence of a male figure in her life, he provides. He may not be the highest earner between the two of them, but he will provide. Maybe something like paying for utility, you get me. Simple basic things. By the mere fact that they are men, okay, they are providers. Women manage the household. Look, let me tell you, feminists themselves are, how do they call it, are not financially independent in their relationships. Even those that are financially independent, they are not financially independent in their relationships. They are the ones who even are big on, they even have the most problem if their men do not provide for them financially. Hey, Nita. I know feminists who have left, I have male friends whose wives are feminists, and their wives left them because they were not earning the income that they used to earn before. And these are men, their wives are very strong women, strong, independent, well-educated financial women. I mean, very, very financially independent women. But they left their husbands simply because he had come to a point where he's unable to afford the kind of lifestyle that they are used to. And these are feminists. Do you get me?
Lisa, I get it. But then back to our questions where we're asking whether you date or not date yourself. Mystic, do you go into a relationship with the mindset that I want my partner to be like me?
I've told you that I'm humorous. I'm a humor merchant. Okay. Now, I would appreciate it if I found a woman who could enjoy a joke, a good joke. You know, because what's the point in cracking a joke and not having anyone to laugh with you?
Okay.
So I would appreciate a woman who appreciates a good joke. All right. I would love that. You know, but it would also be nice if she herself is also quite humorous. So on that note, if I found someone who was also cast in that mode, that would be beautiful. I would love to see some variety. I told you that you know, I can keep to myself, mind my business. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt a fly if I found a woman who was more adventurous and who could also, you know, I say, hey, Mike, let's go on this. Let's go to this park.
So for your kind of relationship, you don't want the lady to be all introvert. Like at least you have to be, you know.
You know, it helps.
It helps.
It helps if she had an adventurous streak. Okay. You know, it will help. You know, so that ideally I wouldn't come out of my coil to want to go to Mount Afajato. But if I were with a woman who said, Mike, come on, have you ever been to Mount Afajato?
Baby, let's go.
And I said, well, darling, I've never been to Mount Afajato.
Okay.
And I said, come on now, Sonny, let's go to Mount Afajato.
You do that.
I would do that, you know, and I could also get to scale the mountain, you know.
I see. But Anita, how do you handle a situation where your partner doesn't possess all the characteristics or all the features that you want in your man?
There are things I look out for. I have boxes that I tick. And if in ticking the boxes I get 60%, it's good enough. Yes, it's good enough. But I also have my don'ts that I do not, I will never compromise on, which I call my red flags. Once I see traits, I won't even wait to see the deed. Yes. So once I see traits of the red flags, then for me,
I think you should look at things you can tolerate, and then things that are deal breakers. You know, because we are not perfect.
Yes.
But can I stomach this? Can I tolerate this? And then things that are deal breakers. I'm not going to take a man who deals narcotics, who is a dealer, because eventually he will land in Sawam, and you might also follow. You know, and a man who is not prone to reckless violence, you know, or a person who is prone to reckless violence.
Okay, Mike, hold on to that scenario. Then we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Mons and Cadel continues.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
Tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
Okay, welcome back from that quick break. So today our guests, Quinita and Mystic Mike, have explained why they would date themselves if they came as the opposite gender. But you at home, I don't know if you've answered that question. But Nita, you know, with all the things that we look out for in our partners, is there anything like a perfect match? And if that is not the case, do you have to compromise when you meet someone that, you know, want to start a relationship or eventually marry?
There is nothing like a perfect match, but then as two individuals who come together to become a couple, you complement each other in the sense that what your strengths, okay, complement or sorts of, for lack of a better word, overshadows the weakness of your partner, and your partner's strength overshadows your weakness. So when the two of you come together, then it looks, or it is said that you're a perfect match because you complete each other very well. You get it. Now, for me, I say that when you tolerate someone, you actually get tired of tolerating the person. So I say that you compromise. You see, no, you compromise.
But is there a limit to it?
Well, you see, we are prone to make mistakes. But what I gathered is that do not make fatal mistakes, because the consequences will be very dire. So if you have a little sister or brother or siblings or whatever it is, you know, the admonition to them is, as you will grow, you will make mistakes. Or if you were a parent and you were, or if I were a parent and I was to advise or counsel young ones, my own case or whatever, as a boy, I'll tell you, look, you can want to go out there and explore what is this kissing thing and all that. But the only thing is this: if you go and impregnate someone, know that there's a price to pay for it. So you can do things, but there are limits to these things. If you were a woman or a girl and you got yourself pregnant in GHS, SHS, you should know that your advancement will be derailed. You can get it back, but it will cost you time, if not anything else. So in selecting partners, the thing is, whom or which sets of attributes have I found in such person? You know, and that for the long haul, because often it is the long haul. If it is a one-night stand, who cares? If from the club you meet someone, you bang, who cares? But it is for the long haul. And so for the long haul, which sets of attributes am I seeking that are on the priority list? Okay. So for me, for instance, I'm going to look at the physical attribute. Do I find you sexy enough? Because the reason why you will become my intimate partner is, and not the others, not my schoolmates, my neighbor, the females in the neighborhood or whatever, is a physical attraction. Okay. You know, because that's the case, because there are many females around. But why is it going to be you? You must be someone. When I sleep and wake and I look, I say, God damn.
I'm just saying, what if old age sets in and everything bows down to gravity?
No, old age will come, but it would have run its course. Okay. I would have drunk from your fountain.
So from now,
for 30
enjoyment.
years, for 30 years, I would have suckled your breast. The breast that would drive me crazy. You know, so physical attraction is key for me. Okay. But then also is a woman who can handle her business in the kitchen. Because I'm looking at when we birth, many people take it for granted. But the reason why many children gravitate towards their mothers, and on Mother's Day you hear so much noise, and why even children who grew under the same roof as under the care of their fathers and mothers, when they are bringing gifts, they bring so much to their mothers and not their fathers, is basically food. It's feeding. Because you will remember who fed you. And so if you're a woman and you can't cook, I mean, that's a terrible thing. Because your children, your very children, why do you think they bring so much gift to the mothers? Because the feeding. Children remember who fed them. You can say you're going to get a chef. You can say you're going to get a cook. Yeah. But I'm telling you that interaction that you have with your children, that when your children come from school, they run to your kitchen. Mommy, what is available? Mama, what did you cook? And a woman who has that ability, who has the skill set to cook rice today and tomorrow can bake a cake or a pie, has the ability to you are like a magician in the mind's eye of your children, and people take it for granted.
I will not dispute that, because there was this guy I dated before. When him and I met and we started dating, he only ate out. His kitchen was not set up. The kitchen only has the sink to wash hands, then the plates, but he didn't have a stove, nothing. His kitchen was not set, no cooking utensils, nothing. I made a suggestion that, you know what, why don't you just get a small tabletop stove that, you know, you can use to prepare. Sometimes you may feel like eating something, or maybe when I come over, you know,
I can do a gravy.
You know, he's still the, yes. So me, I was like, okay, well, I was just, So I was there one day, we were having a conversation. He asked me if I wouldn't mind making a meal for him. Okay. And I said, oh, okay, no problem. So I was like, hey, this one day, where did I go and sleep? You know. Then another time, we were there, and then he was like, I should go on the net and find out the prices of stoves. That he wants a stove with an oven. I was like, you know. So then I figured because I made a suggestion, in his mind, maybe giving him instructions or something. So he wanted it to be his decision to make.
At his own time.
So eventually, yes, we set up the kitchen. He bought the stove and, you know, the utensils. Like, we set up the kitchen and everything. And I started cooking, you know. And he stopped eating out. He got used to coming home to a cooked meal. Okay. And he stopped eating out to the point that when he goes out, and he works for himself. So in the morning, of course, you have his tea or whatever beverage he wants to have. Then he will go to town, go and do whatever he has to do. Then he will come home, come and have lunch, go to town again. And then he will get, so now, so from 8 p.m., that's when he will get back home. He will not eat till he gets home to come and eat his meal.
So you agree with what Mystic is saying, that good food will let the children, so it's like you love, all right. Yes. But then we were talking about the fact that there's no perfect man, stuff like that. But then let's not ignore the fact that nobody is perfect has contributed to people settling with partners where initially they shouldn't have. Because you're always saying that, oh, you cannot find all in your man. But people end up in a relationship, ignore all the red flags. Now you are in the relationship. They're abusive, they're going to be abusive, but you're saying that, oh, so far as he provides for you, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect has led people into jail because they did something out of pain and all that. So with the nobody is perfect thing, how do you deal with it?
There are things you wouldn't know. There are things you wouldn't know, because even parents don't know all that is going on in the lives of their wards. Paula, there are things your mom does not know about you. There are things your dad does not know about you, because the way we are, we present what we want people to see. So you present a version of yourself to your mom when you realize that she's of a certain stock. If your mom was a very Christianized woman and her upbringing was all about morality, and now that you've grown, gone to university, explored the world, tasted things, you still wouldn't want to give her a shocker. You wouldn't want her to know that her darling daughter is a master of giving DJs. You shield that from her.
That's your secret.
You see, you shield that from her. And so in her minds, some mothers even think their sons and daughters are virgins. And they go bragging to their friends. Oh, me baby, you're a virgin.
They never
baby,
know.
you're a virgin. So
they know what is going on.
Okay. I say park this one, I say area where you know, Kwesi Mansa or a champion. You know, but therein lies the reality of life. And so people who were murdered by their partners never thought for once that their partners would murder them. For many of them, they never knew that.
But when you see an abuser can never
they give you the
hide.
No, what I'm saying is self-preservation is the first rule. You your preservation should be your topmost duty. That in anything you are engaging with, to preserve your life should be key. That's why when you are in a trotro or in a taxi and the driver is speeding, it behoves on you to tell the driver, slow down, driver turbo, because that can extinguish your life. Okay? So what I'm saying is this: if you meet someone that you want to have an association with, you must be observant. Despite the information they are relaying to you, you must do your background checks. Okay. And any other thing that is hidden should not be fatal. Anything that they hide from you should not be fatal to you.
But the point also is that you can't even fully know somebody. You can't know somebody completely. Even if you've been married to somebody for 60 years, you would wake up one morning and the person would exhibit something and you go like, damn, I've been with you for 60 years. I never knew you. I mean, you are capable of doing this, or you had these characteristics. Because you see, things happen, right? And sometimes our actions are reactions and not necessarily actions. So sometimes our actions are reactions. And so until we find we find ourselves in a situation that makes us react in a certain manner, you will never know that the person has the capability of expressing that characteristics or whatever. So, I mean, you can't know. You can't fully know a person.
But Mistake, my question, the point I'm trying to raise is that nobody is perfect has led people to settle for less, if I put it that way, because maybe the man might be providing for you, but you have gone for a test drive, maybe you've been sexually involved, and you know that, oh, maybe the manhood that they carry is not your spec. So, but you still go ahead and like, oh, he provides for me. They say nobody is perfect. That is just his non-so.
Nobody's perfect.
Then you go and marry, then you start cheating.
That needs to be clear to everyone is that when we say nobody's perfect, we mean we are not saints. Okay. We are not saints. We are mortals. We are mortals after all. So you see, nobody's perfect. It means you will not have someone who will live like a god or a deity or a saint or an angel or whatever it is. You are a mortal. And so you are subject to the wear and tear of a living being. And so that's why sometimes I laugh at those people who say, Eduakra or any das was say Chana obi fifi into na wunipa. But they forget that wunipa no, you can't grow your limbs. When it is cut, you can't regrow your limbs as a tree does. And so that how do you call comparison is a misplaced one. That trees have an ability that we don't. And it should tell you the limitness of your mortality. Okay, but also critically is that when you say, oh, nobody's perfect, or I know this thing is not to my fitting, or I know this thing is not to my spec or what I would have loved it to be, but I have no choice, and so let me bear with it. That's a different matter.
And you've agreed to bear with it.
That's a different matter, because with the very enlarged how do you call it, phallus, that the example you gave, If it is about just the phallus, and that all other things are equal, the economics say, the economic people say, all economists say, all other things being equal. If you find a man, and on your initial test drive, you find that this man is heavy bonded. This is Juan Lu. This is a man who can dip through, who can slice through your well, and you'll be leaking and all that. But then all other attributes measure up, are up there. Then you find out, it's your responsibility to now find out how can this situation be managed? How can it be contained? And there are many women who give you examples. There are many women who tell you on their initial drive, they couldn't bear it. But with time, the only thing is this, that if all other things are equal, and it's only with something that you are so unsure of, let that thing not be a fatal thing that can cost you your life. Okay. So perhaps he has everything else, but like Kwame Eugene, he can't dress to save his life.
Hey, Mister, this table
you know, he has everything else, but for Kwame, like Kwame Eugene, he can't dress to save his life, or he has everything else, but like Ofria Ponsa, he can't perform a live performance to save his life, or a Daddy Lumba to give a live performance to save his life. You know, of course, these are things you can.
That's not to say they are no good. They are good enough, but then there are
these are recording artists.
Nita, you were asking me about your specs. Just as Mike was telling us that at least the physical appearance, there are some things that people look for.
First and foremost, I don't date a man who has a big dick.
Reasons. Some girls will kill for that.
Well,
Nita, at least explain. I'm very interested.
Biggest relative. So how many inches are you talking?
Police Abba.
Like 12 inches, 10 inches. So what inch works for you? What inches are you working with?
I mean, I don't know the inch sizes, but I mean,
when you see it, you will know.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was not working for you.
Big dicks, no.
They scare you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No comment. All right, so let's continue.
Okay, so that's one.
They scare you.
Oh yeah.
So what other thing?
And you see, most men with big dicks, half of the time don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, I'm here, I have it.
They don't know
what
what
else?
to do.
They're like, Sarkodie, what else?
They don't know what to do with it. So, and
they expect you to
they
worship
end up even bruising you.
Yeah. Okay, but then how true is that assertion that opposites attract?
Of course. There are examples. Examples
you
are
see,
around.
You see, you can't marry somebody, or you can't be in a relationship with somebody that you have nothing in common. Do you understand what? There must be a tie that binds both.
So how about Mr. John Kufuor and Mama Teresa?
They are both of the same.
They also both of the same stock.
Yes.
Also measured.
Yeah.
Not rambunctious.
It's true.
They are the same. Yeah, you see.
But at least you say that Kufuor is, outspoken a bit.
Because Mama, you wouldn't hear much from Mama.
Kufuor is a lawyer, so and a politician. So, when you see his demeanor, okay, you see he's a man of very few words, but per his path, he has to cultivate. Yes, he has to cultivate that characteristic.
How about Mama Rebecca?
And the wife is a nurse. So
Mama Rebecca and Nana is quite also expressive, and I think Mama Rebecca for the larger part is quite reserved. So I think they have that opposite contrast going for them.
The list can go on and on, but let's take a quick break and we'll return shortly.
All right now.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the part and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today deny funny face. It's not my brother. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Still watching Moans and Cuddles here on GhanaWeb TV. I am Paulina Deda Opoku. So today, Mystic Mike and Queen Nita have been helping us do the only queen, only Medasi baby, has been helping us to do the discussion. The question is just simple. We're finding out if you would date yourself if you came out as the opposite gender. Mystic.
Yeah.
You've said that you would have played the role better and you would have even loved to date yourself if you came out as a woman. But then what are some special traits that you find in yourself that you think that if women should have, it will help in their relationship or marriages?
Well, it pays to be reasonable. Be a reasonable person. You know, when you are a fan of mafioso films or novels, the mafia in Italy, Sicily, you'll find that I'm a fan of Mario Puzo's works. Mario Puzo's works, The Last Dawn, and all the others. And then they to tell you that one of the Dawn said, "I cannot reason with an unreasonable man. And if you cannot reason with an unreasonable man, that's your end. He'll kill you. But no matter what happened, if he can reason with you and you can reason with him, there will be a way out." And so I picked that traits that in what you do, deal with reasonable people. It will save you time, it will save you money, it will save you embarrassment. You know, when scandals break out, people say we ought to choose people we do things with wisely, even with cheating. You know, when some of these cheating things broke out, they say, now we seeking now when to me and for bar or you're discreet. So in all things, take a reasonable person or deal with a reasonable person. There are people who have been involved sexually with married men for eons, several moons, many moons, but no noise has been heard because their partners have been discreet. It isn't that issues not come up, but when they come up, we sit down. How do we solve this? What's the way out? That's the way to go. And so for me, a man or a woman should be reasonable. That's number one. Number two, they should have an honest means of making money. If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you are seeking for love, are you an honest maker of money? Because if you're not, eventually what will happen is that the long arms of the law will catch up with you. And if the long arms of the law catches up with you, can you prove, you the partner, that you were unaware of the dealings of your corrupt or thieving or diabolic partner? So you can live large. But if the law caught up with you, can you prove that? And so in looking as a man or a woman, deal with people who have honest means of making their money. That one, when you sleep, you can sleep well at night. That one, when you are passing, people will not be throwing things at you. Say, they seek a fee, them no more talking, no plenty talking. They know way or your business way. Look at the various luxury cars that some of these notable people drive. But they are hailed in society because people see the businesses they do. So when they are attacking politicians, they don't come to them.
Right. So you've listed being reasonable and the fact that your dealings must be legit in the business that you do. Okay. Nita, what are some traits that you have that set you apart from the many?
One of the things I can't deal with is to be left hanging and not get closure. Yes, I like to have closure. I mean, I think that it's only meaningful and respectful that it's only cowards who walk out of a relationship without being bold enough to tell their partner that they are no longer interested. Any man, and I say it without reservation, any man that has ghosted the woman, any man that has walked out of a relationship without telling the woman that he's no longer interested is a coward. A very big coward. The very same way that you approached the woman and expressed your interest to her, approach the woman again and tell her that you are no longer interested. Do you get me? Even if you wouldn't meet with her one-on-one, you can do it over a phone call or even via text message. At least do the honorable thing. Give the person closure.
It's a bad state to be in as a woman.
I read.
Because you've been wondering, what is it?
Just yesterday I read somewhere that don't awaken the love of a woman only to abandon her or something to that effect.
Yes.
I think I read it. There is a coward who awakens the love of a woman and then just leaves her. So if you know you don't love her, do not go awakening her love. Let her love sleep.
And it's dialogue. If you think that there's something that doesn't meet your expectation, just tell me that instead of
you see, eventually, of course, the person will be hurt. The person might cry.
It's better to cry.
Tantrums and all that. But at the end of the day,
it was sinking.
After going through whatever they've gone through, they have their closure, and then they would come to the realization that indeed it's over. Do you get me? So for me, it's dialogue, and people should learn to talk. When you're in a relationship with someone and the person does something and you don't like it, instead of giving the person attitude, talk.
That's the trait,
yes, talk.
And talking does not mean you shouting, crossing the scene.
No.
You can sit as adults and point it out that, my love, the way you spoke to me at the supermarket, I didn't like or something.
I've been through abusive relationships. I've been verbally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically abused. So my trigger is when I'm shouted at. When you shout at me, it triggers me and puts me in a defensive mood, because my mind is telling me that I'm being abused, because I've gone through verbal abuse. You get me? I don't like to be shouted at. So when you are shouting, for me, when my partner is shouting at me, I keep quiet. When you continue, when I keep quiet, I expect you to just stop. Yes. So when you don't and you continue to shout at me, I become aggressive. Okay, I would shout, I would talk back at you in a very disrespectful manner and become aggressive. So for instance, if let's say you are holding something, like, okay, let's say if I wanted to give you something, because you are shouting at me, I can just throw it at you, not hit you as saying, but as saying, take it, something like that. So like he said, dialogue, talk. If I've done something and you don't like, for Christ's sake, talk to me. I know we all get, I'm not saying that.
And we should normalize that when we commit blunders
we should
or
say
mistakes,
sorry, apologize.
And our partners sit us down and point it out, and you are in the wrong, you should accept your mistake. Because people tend to be like, oh, this was just nothing. We say, exactly. So if your partner, it gets your partner so much that they call you and sit you down like, bro, or beba, or nana, or katechi, or whatever it is.
Daddy.
daddy, their daddy,
Zazie.
You know, I didn't like the way you spoke to me. I didn't like it.
Just say sorry.
You know, and you know that indeed you had spoken out of 10 to your partner. That opportunity is the right time to apologize and say you would watch yourself not to repeat it. And then when you accept that, your partner also says, beautiful, that's all I wanted. Let's move on. That's maturity. That's adults dealing with adults. That's not a baby or a child throwing tantrums, sleeping on the rolling on the floor. I want biscuit. I want this. You know, that's adult business. That's why when you have no business being an adult, don't go into a relationship.
But Anita, when it comes to dating and finally settling down to marry someone that you think is right for you, do we say that we do all that to feel better or be better?
Let us not impose what we think should inform people's decision. As long as it does not break the law it is not criminal.
My GSS people,
do you get me?
A lot of the females have married, but the males only a handful have.
So for somebody, the defining decision or the factor that informs marriage is money. For someone, is beauty. Character is not part of it. You get it. For someone, it is sex. For someone, it is character. That is why you can see a very handsome man married to a non-beautiful woman. I don't want to, nobody, yes. Yes, a non-beautiful woman. You get me? Or you can see a very beautiful lady with a non-handsome man as a husband. You see, there are so many things that informs people's decision in choosing or deciding to settle down with their partner.
All right. But then in previous times, in the case where maybe someone is rich, a man or woman is rich, and then they are dating or a partner who is not well-to-do. Now that kind of looks like it's just in movies because the rich ones are marrying the rich ones.
It has
to that
always
level.
been like that.
No, Nita. If we'll be honest, previously, you know, there might be a man who is highly educated but settles for a woman who has never been in the classroom before, and then they start a family maybe along the line. Why is the case? Why has it changed?
In those times, when literacy started, most of the marriages that took place was arranged. Most of the marriages that took place at that time was arranged. But when literacy became established, right, they were marrying amongst, the aristocrats were marrying amongst themselves. The educated were marrying amongst themselves.
Mistake on the part of that. Do you see that happening in a modern Ghana?
Well, it's a two-pronged thing for me. The wealthy marry among themselves. That's an established fact. Because no wealthy person wants to lose their wealth. They want to accumulate it further.
But apart from that, apart from that, it also has to do with circles.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to.
It has to do with circles.
That's what I'm coming to.
Because those who attend, let's say, GIS, okay, they go for sleepovers, you know, they go for parties, they go for events and stuff like that in their circles. For you who attended Nyankpulugu DA, you get it. You don't have access unless maybe when you got to university, you happen to make friends with someone who attended GIS. But that is even very rare. So it's mostly with the circles.
When you start going to school, the caliber of school you go to would determine the exposure that you get. It's not only with Ghanaians only, even with other nationals. So that club is there. But then also there are those who are wandering souls. So the person might have come from a wealthy class, but then will go against the grain, will be the exception and say, yes, all of this is not to my taste. I've seen a beans seller's daughter who dresses, keeps herself very, attractive, even though she's from a lowly or a humble beginning. But then the beauty of that girl cannot be denied. And so I'm going against the admonition of my father, my mother, my aunties, my co-menenes, and I said, it is her I want.
Someone will say it only happens in Ghanaian movies.
No, it does happen. It does happen.
Is love or relationship a shared responsibility?
Of course.
All right. So if that is the case, and you came in as the opposite gender, are you going to be able to assume that responsibility?
I would be able to. I'm not stingy. I'm not stingy with my money.
So as a woman, you would have been able to share with your... I would
be able to support the house. Okay. I will be able to buy things for my children. Okay. When I see clothing, I won't wait and say, I'm just careful, papa. No, I wouldn't be doing that. I'll buy things. I'll even buy food for the house. I would be a wife who would can surprise my husband. Even with gifts. I wouldn't go for the singlets and the handkerchiefs. I'll go an extra mile, find out what he really likes. If it's some good quality liquor, I'll get him. If it's whiskey or brandy, if it's something, or I find that he likes a certain leisure sport or leisure.
You didn't mention socks, so you can add socks.
A certain.
They say they don't like the boxers.
It says boxers. It doesn't like boxers and singlets.
But then you need it. I don't know why you guys find a problem.
It's what socks you are buying. What kind of socks are you buying?
Handkerchiefs.
There's a decra socks.
Yeah, I've seen
there's a decra socks. Are you going to buy those things that people carry on their adhesive socks, and nylon socks and all that? No.
7 for 5.
Exactly. So if it's a quality material and you take it and say, wow, this is a thoughtful gift.
So with men, your issue is not with the boxers
items,
and singlets,
no.
but it's the quality of the things that we present.
If a woman buys you a Fruit of the Loom boxes, goddamn, even you, some of the men cannot even buy a Fruit of the Loom boxes. A Fruit of the Loom boxes is going to cost you money. So if you were to bring me a Fruit of the Loom singlet or boxes, and I say, goddamn, baby.
This one, I like this kind. Okay.
So it's not the Chinese one you wear one day, tomorrow the under is torn.
If I buy the boxers and the briefs and you not wear it, I'll wear my own too.
We even look good in the briefs.
See, because they are men underwears are most comfortable.
Oh, it's true.
They are most comfortable. They are more comfortable. It's very comfortable. If you want to be a happy man, then your wife has to be happy. And women understand only 3 languages. The first language is money. The second language is money. The third language is money.
Still money.
Yes, because love is sweetest. Love is sweetest when there is money.
Davido will say, love is sweet too. When money enter, love is sweet.
Yes, love is sweetest when there is money. And you show your affection even more when there is money. Men become irritable when they don't have money. Yeah, men become irritable when they don't have money. So money. So when a man has money, his woman is happy, and he's even happiest.
But you people say Odoye Desinsika.
Who told you?
And whoever said that is a liar. Whoever said, I said,
because that's the reality on the ground. When that song came out, we were not a capitalist society. But now it's capitalist society. Everything is money bound, and so now it has to be Odonisika.
When you take a rich couple and you take a hustling couple, you compare and contrast.
You are told
you see that the rich couple look the happiest because money is sweet though. Money sweet.
Don't let no one deceive you.
I beg you.
Didn't the Bible say money answereth all things?
Yes.
But let's wrap this whole conversation up. Finally, I just want to ask, depending your happiness on someone, is it a safe card?
You can derive joy from people. You can derive joy from people. People can make you smile. People can make you laugh. People can, make you feel good. Okay. But then the ultimate person that can make you happy is yourself.
when you are with someone, okay, you have you are interdependent on each other. Do you get me? So of course you have to find a way of, or your own source of happiness. Like you have to find a source of happiness for yourself, but you are interdependent. When you are in a relationship, you and your partner are interdependent on one another. If the saying that happy yourself is in fact very true, as it is, why is it that when you are in a relationship and your partner does something, you feel miserable? It is because you are interdependent on each other. Your happiness, for lack of a better word, your happiness is dependent on your partner, and your partner's happiness is dependent on you. If you are single, then you find your own happiness. Every now and then you want your own space away from your partner. You want your me time. You want your girls' night out or your boys' night out. So you get it. I mean, that is, you still have a life. The fact that you are married or you're in a relationship does not mean that you don't have a life. You still have a life. You still have friends. You still have schoolmates. You still have work colleagues. You still attend functions. You still have church colleagues and all that. You get it. But I'm saying that aside all these social activities and maybe your space, the things you do in your space that makes you, that gives you fulfillment. For instance, maybe reading. Mike likes to read a lot. Okay, so when he's reading and he's in that space, he feels fulfilled. For someone, it's listening to music. For someone, it's watching movie. Of course, we all have something that we do that makes us fulfilled or brings the happiness. But after all that, once you are in a relationship, you are interdependent on your partner.
I must say, I'm honored to have you. Had you here on the show to discuss the topic. We've all explained why you would date yourself if you came as the opposite version. That's just fine. But then before we wrap everything up, I want you to put out your social media handles where we can reach you. Mike.
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm Mystic Mike, MYSTIC, Mike, MIKE. Also on Facebook, my website's page is Black Pepper Ghana. Black Pepper is BLAKKPEPPER and then Ghana. On Twitter, I'm on as Mystic Mike, MYSTIQ MIKE at Mystic Mike. And then on Instagram, I'm on as Black Pepper News. You can catch me there. Let's groove. That's on Instagram. Black Pepper News GH. Black Pepper News GH. Yeah.
Okay, so on Facebook, you can follow me on Queenita. When you write Queenita, I'm the first that pops up, the only that pops up. And I have a page. I'm a writer. I told you I'm a writer. So I have a page, which is like a blog. I blog my materials on the page. The page is Nita Talks, NITATALKS, Nita Talks. That's for Facebook. And on Instagram, I am Queenita. And then on Twitter, I am Queenita.
Queenita and Mystic Mind.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Many thanks. Many thanks, Paula.
Okay, so as I said earlier, I am Paulina Deda Opoko, and it's always a pleasure having you, because every episode you come, you watch what is going on, and then we are hopeful that at least all the submissions that our guests make, you take the ones that you think you can relate with to spice your marriage or relationship. We'll be back for the next episode of Moons and Cuddles.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
Tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
Powers and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the part and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you funny face. It's not my brother. Funny face. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.